hello, my spookies. Welcome to Feline Forensics and the Meowseum mystery. Now, I'm about 85% sure this is actually the full game going on right now. The developer sent this to me. I think it's the full thing, but I also do know that I'm making this in the past, right? Ooh, I'm not allowed to post any videos for like 2 weeks. It's under embargo. That's cool. I mean, like, it's not cool. I want to send this to get to you guys as soon as I make it, but like, I've never had that happen before. I feel so like fancy. I get these games and I can't even play them, or I mean, post them, but I can't play them, which is just really cool. To me, this sounds like Duck Detective, but with cats, and I'm all for that. So I'm getting right into this. It even looked like, oh my, oh, shake it. Oh, hello. Is there voice acting? That's the important part. Drats! Oh, one of the greatest things about Duck Detective was the voice acting in it. But that's fine. That's why the Spooks is here. Another long day. Street lamps are already on, and I haven't been in my office yet. I should check my computer. I'm sure I have at least a few emails waiting by now. Although, if it's the commissioner volunteering me for more debriefs, I'll have to put my paw down. I know they've done a bunch of, like, crossover things. I believe that a building full of cats is making a special section just to, like, for this, which is just kind of cool. I like when indie games do stuff with each other. It's like finding the Bug Fables cameo in Culebra and the Souls of Limbo. I lost my mind when I saw that. All right, let's see if this old litter box still works. I just need to log in. And, huh? It won't take my password. Something here has my whiskers twitching. This might turn into a regular investigation. I'll start tracking all my leads on this bulletin board in case I need to reference them again. The unknown password. Oh my god, it's a laser. Although that is extremely distracting. Oh god, I can't even look at it. Oh man, I need to... Oh, for some reason my computer isn't accepting my password. Did I just forget what it was? If I changed it, I certainly would have written it down on a note and put it in my desk. Okay. Let's see. What should I take a look at? The computer, let's look at the phone. I could call the department secretary for help, if they hadn't already gone home for the day. Well, let's see. Let's look at the desk. It's possible I just wrote the password down and threw it in my desk drawers. Okay, not in the top drawer. Surely, it'll be in the bottom drawer. Aha! This must be it. Wait, no, this is just a standard department business card. Following procedure requires I enter it into evidence, but unfortunately, this might be more serious than it seems. What? All I found on my desk was an old business card, but I'm not sure how helpful that's going to be. I guess I could give it a second glance? How do I... Oh, the right one. Ooh. A business card I found in the drawers of my office desk. It's a business card printed on quality paper, although age has weathered the once white sheen to yellow. On the card, depicted in black ink, is the department logo and general information such as office address and phone number. Feline Forensics Inc., private detective agency, established 1994. I'm older than this agency. Pain. 9 South Vita Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19102. Office 215-555 meow. Fax 215-555 per. Oh. Emergencies only. Extension 1029. Hi, Hime-sama. Ah! Of course, I knew there was something else here. Why didn't I think to flip over that business card sooner? The extension written here belongs to the department manager. Luckily, I would classify this as an emergency. I should give them a call immediately and let them know what's going on. 1029, right? 1024, sorry. Business card found. All right, 1024. So let's call. We should... Oh, nope, I didn't mean to do that. The phone. Now that I have the department manager's extension, I can give them a call about my computer. Ah, I like that it just does that automatically. Good evening, detective. I hope this is important because I'm in the middle of dinner with my family. Apologies, but we might have a security issue. My computer's password has inexplicably changed. I hate to break this news to you, detective, but the inexplicable is, in fact, quite explicable. If I do recall, this is the second time this week you've interrupted my wife's delicious home-cooked meal. I'm sorry? From what I could gather, you were on another milk-fueled bender. Through slurred speech, you told me you changed your own password. This is like it's gonna be a lot of comparisons. It's like Duck Detective and his addiction to bread. And this is the part where I'm so embarrassed you tell me the password, correct? I would consider, but you also informed me that you hid it somewhere. Somewhere that only a detective of your caliber would be able to find. So, get on with it and ensure that not a single report on this matter is out of place tomorrow. And let me reiterate, while you're in your right mind, do not call me again unless it is a real emergency. Click. I think if I had just forgot my password, this wouldn't be as humiliating. Either way, not my proudest moment, but I can make up for that, even if I am technically this crime's primary suspect. Retracing my steps, following the proper timeline, and correcting any inconsistencies in the case notes will be paramount. So I hid it. Is it in the cat tree? I like how there's a cat tree. Oh, actually, hold on. I should double check my notes, make sure everything is up to date with this new information. So that's, according to the department manager, I changed my own computer's password and hid it somewhere in my office. Apparently I'm creating my own mysteries now. Okay. And then I can hit X. Oh. Sorry, Hime's being adorable right now. Can I help you, ma'am? Okay, the issue. Without the current password, he can't unlock the computer in his office or check his email. The detective left his office late last night, and at some point after, the department network was hacked. That's not right. The next day, the detective attempted to log in to his office computer, but found the password had been changed. So this is incorrect. How can I dispute this? Testimonies. The department manager. I see. That makes sense. The department manager did confirm that nothing was hacked. Embarrassingly, just a bit too much indulgence on my part. That being said, I've only got a rough outline here, and they won't settle for anything less than perfection. It's time to thoroughly investigate the rest of my office, and to use my journal to fill in every blank necessary. You've learned almost everything you need to fill the detective's shoes, so let's put those sleuthing skills to the test. Did you know you can rotate the camera to look around too? I did not know that. Alright, you told me, the game told me not to use my keyboard, but... Or if you need to get around quicker, use the zoomies button. I'm sorry, hold on. Normal walk, zoomies button. I wish it was actually more zoomy. Oh, that's cool. It's my old map of historic Philadelphia, but I don't remember all these thumbtacks on it. They're each holding a thin shred of paper to various addresses in the city, but no one seems more important than another. I think it might be impossible to know where to go with this lead until I have more clues. What? I like that, so it's not really 2D. It's possible I hid the password within the potting soil of this plant. However, until I have a compelling reason to believe that, I'm not willing to make a mess of the hardwood floor. I hate that it's backwards, though. It is, yeah, it is reverse spin. Let's see what we can find over here. The cat town. One might ask themselves, why would any self-respecting feline investigator keep one of these demeaning furniture pieces in their professional office? It was a gift from some old coworker who thought they were being exceptionally humorous. Also, it keeps my claws properly managed. And sometimes it helps me think. Alright, filing cabinet. I have a few of these cabinets to keep track of all my previous cases. Oh, of course, it's not unlocked. Those records are pretty confidential. Wait, I don't lock these! Not since I kept misplacing the key. I'm certain that this is significant. I might have put my password in here, at the very least, another clue. Okay, can you look in there then? Oh, the cabinet is locked. I'm sorry, I thought it said it wasn't locked. So we have a Y button. Yeah, this is what I saw in like the trailer video where I'm like, it's Duck Detective, I know this. The official investigator's journal is provided by the Feline Forensics Private Detective Agency. The correct sections look like this, no need to do anything else. Close sections look like this, you have 2 or fewer incorrect. Wrong sections look like this, there are more than 2 incorrect. Puzzle solving assistance can be enabled in the options and doesn't affect any achievements. That's nice. Unbeknownst to the bleh changed the bleh to his bleh and bleh it inside a bleh. Furthermore, he bleh the bleh to the bleh inside a bleh that the bleh recently bleh. Unbeknownst the bleh. Unbeknownst to who? The detective? Unbeknownst to the detective changed the password. Or someone else changed it to his computer. And I'm assuming they hid it inside a something. Is there something over here to investigate? There's lots of things. This shelf is absolutely packed with different tomes, journals, studies, and the occasional novelization. If I had some sort of clue in one of these books, it would take me far longer to find it than it's worth. I wouldn't put it past myself, but I don't have anything to go on yet. Okay. The filing cabinet. These are usually just for keeping contracts, reference documents, and various policy paperwork. I can't imagine I would have slid a note with the password on it into this mess of a drawer. Even under a strong influence of dairy, I wouldn't have done something so reckless. Trash can. When you need to dig up the truth, you've got to act like an alley cat. Empty milk carton. Comically clean fish bones. Used yarn ball. Ugh. None of this looks very helpful. Wait a minute. There's a crumpled receipt, and it looks like I've redacted most of it. Nothing about the actual purchase remains, and only the store's address is left visible. Where could this lead? I don't know. I rummaged through the trash, but I didn't find more than some outdated paperwork and an old receipt. I looked over the bookshelf in my office, but it doesn't seem like there's anything out of place. I would need to find more evidence to narrow my search. Slightly, I locked my password in the filing cabinet board. I hide the key. Left visible on the receipt is an address. Could there be somewhere I could cross-reference this? Oh, on the map. Well, I could dig through my office's plant's pot. The lack of displaced dirt means I probably didn't hide any clues in there. That's actually a good point. Okay, alright. So we are filling this up a little bit. We have a receipt. Most of it is redacted, which is not normal practice for detectives such as myself, and especially not for customers. The only elements left visible are an address, 13 North 2nd Street, presumably for the store, and a string of numbers, presumably to identify the item internal. Okay. Alright, and I know I can't do anything about that. I think that's everything in the office. So let's go to the map. It's my old map of historical... Yep. Hold on. That crumpled receipt did have an address on it, though. What was it again? It was 13 North 2nd Street. I don't recall what's around here, but the slip of paper does have a phone number written on it. Looks like it's time to make another call. I don't know how this helps you find your password, but you know what? Whatever we gotta do. Let's see. Let's look at the phone. Let's give the number I found on the map a call. Hopefully, they're still open and they can make sense of this receipt. Good evening. Book Gator on second. What can I do for you? Of course, the local bookstore. How could I forget? Sir, did you need help with something? Hello, yes, sorry. I do, actually. This might be an odd question, but I have a receipt, and I'm not sure what it was that I purchased. I've been expecting your call, detective. Of course you were. Care to explain why? You stumbled in, disgruntled after an argument with this devious plan. I didn't ask questions, but you warned me this call was likely. Oh, dear. Now, about that book, please tell me it's not something terribly inappropriate. Ah, not quite, no. The book's title is On the Historical Development of Cat Burglary. Okay, thank you. That'll be all. Sure you don't need anything else, detective? No, really, it's okay. Thank you. Click. Ugh. As if I wasn't embarrassed enough as it is. So, we now have a reason to go through the bookshelf. The bookshelf. I like that it does re-highlight it, so it's like, hey, there's something new here. The shelf is absolutely packed with different... the clerk said the book in question had something to do with cat burglary. If so, where is it? Dignity and Domestication by the great Dane Austen, Les Meowserables by Vermin Hugo, Call of the Wild by Jack London. Okay, more novels than I thought, but hey, these are the classics. Oh, here's the one I'm looking for. The question now is, why would I have purchased this book specifically? Are you gonna look at the book? Here it is. It's a dissertation I apparently purchased from the local bookstore and then stashed within the various other tomes on my office bookshelf. The subject matter seems fairly heavy. Deriving any clues from it may be challenging. Was that why I chose it in this strange pursuit to out-detective myself? Well, I mean... Did I... Oh, wait, there's... Don't what? Don't open. Oh. Ha 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 ha. Oh, of course. I knew there was something else here. I bought a hollow trick book. No wonder the bookstore clerk was holding back a laugh. With my cabinet key hidden inside, no less. I think we're nearing the end of this case. Good thing the trains will still be running for a little longer. Can't hide it from the smartness of the spook. Let's see what we can find over here. I've got the key now, so let's get this locked cabinet opened up and see what we can find. There's a note right on top. A great change of pace, or maybe I was just getting lazy. There doesn't seem to be any cipher or code either. This just looks like a normal password. I should try it and then make sure all my notes are in order. I wouldn't want to attract any more ire from the department manager than I already have. Okay, so we have... oh, and so it updates. I get it. Oh, that's really cool. So the receipt then says that additional clue was a slip of paper among several thumbtacked to my city map. In accordance with that very address, handwritten on the scrap is a phone number. And the book says, opening the book not only revealed it to be a hollowed out trick, but also the vessel to secretly store my filing cabinet key. And it does tell you if you perform the inspection. So this key doesn't need an inspection. That's nice. I like those. It's just like little tiny quality of life things that tell you, okay, I don't need this anymore. Although I've hardly ever used it, it's the centerpiece of this ridiculous scavenger hunt of a case. The real mystery is how I accomplished setting all this up under the influence of the milk bar's finest, including hiding it inside a hollow book. The password reminder. In the pursuit of proving I could out-detective myself, I changed my office computer's password and hid this reminder behind a series of puzzles and hidden clues. Whether a locked cabinet, a hollow book, or a cryptic map of addresses, or embarrassing phone calls, didn't say secret for long. The password is written in newspaper and magazine scraps. It reads 7HEC4TSM. You think that means anything? I certainly hope not. Okay, so that goes, let's see, left bumper. As it turns out, I changed my own computer password and locked the reminder note inside one of my office filing cabinets. Oh my god. I do find this order a little bit confusing. I even hid away the key to the cabinet in a hollow book I didn't even know I purchased. Further obscuring my paper trail, I redacted the receipts details and threw it in the trash. Note to self, after I solve this case, I really need to double check how expensive that book was and return it if I can. Now that I have everything straight, I should make sure my records reflect that, especially if the department manager demands some accountability. So this is when we go to this one. Oh, something's wrong. So this is what happened. The detective left his office late last night and shortly after found himself at the milk bar downtown. Okay, bye, cat. Meaning on the finest dairy a cat PI could buy, the detective got into an intellectual argument with another patron and vowed to prove he was, confusingly, a detective so spectacular he could out-sleuth himself. Having developed a devious plan to overcome his own expertise, the detective went to a local bookstore and purchased a hollow book. After returning to the office, the detective changed his computer's login information before it was lost to the memory of a lactose stupor. This says it's wrong. The detective changed his login information. But that is right, isn't it? Ah, I see. That makes sense. Of course, the reason for this entire mystery. Locked up tight in a lone filing cabinet. Luckily, I haven't forgotten about it twice, at least not yet. What did I do correctly there? Hold on. Oh, so it just didn't have all the information on it. So it wasn't incorrect, because he did change it, but then he placed the note with the password within one of his filing cabinets. Prior to placing the book on his office shelf, the detective stashed the cabinet key within the book's secret compartment. Having successfully laid his plot and proud of his mastermind scheme, the detective called the department manager before finally retiring for the evening. The next day, the detective attempted to log in, but found the password had changed. So now we go here. So unbeknownst to the detective changed the password to his computer and hid it inside. Oh, wait, that's not it. No, sorry. And hid it inside a cabinet. Okay, so that's not right. Unbeknownst. Detective changed the password. Hid it inside a cabinet. But that is right. Or is that just... like... he changed the password and he hid it in his cabinet. I'm not sure what's so wrong about that. Furthermore, he hid the key. Alright, hid the key to the cabinet inside a book that the... oh, so that the detective recently purchased. Okay, so that's right. I don't understand why... unbeknownst to the detective changed the password to his computer and hid it inside a cabinet. I mean, I really don't know. What is wrong about this? I feel very dumb right now. Why is this incorrect? The detective changed the password to his computer and hid it in a cabinet. Huh? Huh? It might be locked instead of hid. Okay. Oh, and I realized my face was on a lot of that. Okay, so it was locked in the cabinet, not hid it in the cabinet, even though he did hide it in the cabinet and then locked it. Aha! I knew I was onto something. Well, a fantastic treat, a night out at the milk bar, might cause me more trouble than it's worth. Oh! Why is the phone ringing? Could it be the manager already? Let's see. Well, wait, hold on. I want to look at the computer first. I've got the password supposedly. Now for the moment of truth. Is it possible this has been a red herring all along? Oh, it works! I'm logged in. I have exactly 0 emails that require my attention. It's a relief, of course, but I shouldn't leave the phone ringing much longer. That's funny. Hello? Feline Forensics, private detective, I'm glad to hear you're burning the midnight oil. Commissioner? To what do I owe the pleasure? Batman out there? Business, not pleasure. There's been an incident. Private property, they asked for you. I'm sending a cruiser. The officer will fill you in on the way. The case seems pretty involved, but it's still within my jurisdiction. You will go by the book, detective. I'm sure you're aware that if you don't, your license will be on the line. Again. Click. What a ray of sunshine the commissioner is these days. It's gonna be an even later night than I thought. This is cool. Nice. Evening, officer. What are we looking at this time? Oh, detective. No need to be so formal, although we are headed to a pretty fancy museum, so maybe I spoke too soon, honk. The one on the east side of town. What happened? Sounds like an attempted heist gone sideways. No one was able to flee the scene, but an important exhibit has gone missing. Not sure if it was one of the thieves, another visitor, or a staff member, but they said somebody might have been shot in the process. Oh dear, let's hope things have been kept under control since. They made it seem like the scenario was contained, but you'll have to make that call yourself. I don't know much more than that, but we'll be there soon. And here we are. Told you it wouldn't take long. Always a pleasure. Wish me luck. I have a feeling this is going to be a long night. Good luck, detective. I'm sure everything will go just fine. And I know you like to work alone, but if you need some help from the department, just give us a call on that payphone over there. We'll see if that's necessary. For now, it's time to get to work. Super cool. All right, I'm going to call this one here. Well, hold on. Let's read... Meeting our suspects. No, I'll do this at the beginning of the next one and go through all this stuff. Ooh, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on here. Ooh, love it. I love the humor of these games, how silly they look. I like the art style. How just kind of bizarre. Like, the trees are just squares. That's fine. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I didn't. Oh, I accidentally called. Nope, I don't need to. Nope, I don't. Nope, I can't. Nope. Oh, what? Actually, nope. Nope. Oh. Actually, no. What did that say? I guess I should give the police department a call. There's probably someone on their last shift about now. I can't forget to expense this charge, though. Payphones aren't getting any cheaper these days. Detective! Hope the case is coming along smoothly. What can I do for you? Actually, on second thought, I don't have anything at the moment. I'm not really sure why I called. Sorry about that. It's pretty quiet over here at the precinct, so don't worry about it. I'll talk to you later. Click. Well, back to it, I guess. I like that they have a hint system. That's really nice. All right, I'm not going to explore. No, I really want to go and explore, but I'm going to call this one here. Do like little pieces at a time. Haha, JK. I was actually planning on making this a multi-part series, and then I did like a tiny bit of research and realized it's really not that big of a game. So we're all just going to go in one, and I'm not going to stop playing. I'm going to keep going. Also, it is about 1,000 degrees out, so sorry, trusty robe. It's a sign for the museum, with its namesake Greenberg and the official logo illuminated by a few small spotlights. No one would have suspected a heist turned murder. Well, I guess it could be a murder turned heist. These are the kinds of questions I'll need to answer with my expert feline sleuthing skill. Skills with a Z. Can I go back? No, I cannot. I forget how to run. There was a run button. I found the run button. The plaque reads, "Honk, the Herald Angel," by an unknown artist. A wonderful and timeless depiction of Mother Goose's agents of peace. That said, the biblically accurate sculptures are more compelling. Okay. So, like, biblically accurate angels, like 8,000 eyes and wings, and they're just terrifying. Ah, detective, thank goodness you've finally arrived. I'm the curator of this museum, and the one that called the police. Thank you for coming on such short notice. For crime, there's no such thing as short notice, and a detective must always be prepared to put a stop to it. Yes, well, please work with the utmost efficiency. A catastrophe of this scale could be a disaster. You mean the murder in your museum? Does that not qualify as a disaster? Someone was murdered, but this could get out of hand. It isn't right now, but it could. If word got out that our most precious gemstone was stolen, who knows what would have happened? Again, someone was murdered, but God forbid the gemstone was stolen. Not only would the museum's reputation be forever marred, we could be the target of even more horrid criminals. You're understandably concerned, but I assure you I'll sort this out. This is far from my first case. Although, if my debrief was accurate, there was also an unfortunate murder in the process. Is that right? Ah, yes, that punk! I just hate to even think about it. I suppose you should take care of that as well. Oh, you totally did it. But in my opinion, the sooner we get the innocent people home, the better. A rushed investigation leads to sloppy work, so I can't promise this will be quick or easy. Regardless, I trust you will do your best, and if you could keep me posted on your progress, it would be greatly appreciated. Of course, I have several things to discuss, if we could. Personal question. Ask away, detective. Who are you? As I said before, I'm the purveyor of this prestigious museum. Past that, there isn't much more to disclose. Do you have any association outside of your work here? Family, perhaps? Is this vital to solving our case, detective? Otherwise, I'd request that you inquire no further. Sus. It certainly could be, depending on how it continues to unfold. Fine. I do have a family, and I'm currently separated from them over personal matters. And I can assure you that they have nothing to do with the stolen gemstone or the murder, unless you'd like to interrogate them unnecessarily as well. As always, I appreciate the cooperation. Let's move on. I would expect nothing less. Alright. What do you do? I manage the museum staff, exhibition. Why am I failing in life? Sometimes words don't word in the way that words should word. I manage the museum staff, exhibitions, publicity, funding, and well, just about everything. Wouldn't it be easier to delegate some of that work? Well, you see, we simply don't have the extra revenue to accommodate that. While incredibly valuable to the human condition, a museum of this caliber is hardly ever profitable. Oh, my apologies if this is a sore subject. I simply don't enjoy the idea that one would look at what we do here and assume it's all that easy. It requires hard work and sacrifice, detective. It's not a sore subject, it's a harsh reality. Of course. Again, my sincerest apologies. Let's get to another question. I would expect nothing less. Alright, we got one more about the museum. Alright, let me provide a brief overview of the layout so you know what you're dealing with. Currently, we're standing in the museum's foyer, which is the only exterior doorway. There's not like a back door? Sus. In the east wing, we have the sculpture gallery featuring contemporary works. On the west side is where we display works of natural history with geological and pre-civilization origins. That's where I like to go. When I go to a museum, I don't care about contemporary, I don't care about modern, I don't care about that. I love ancient history. Love ancient history. I think it's the coolest thing in the entire world, especially Egypt. The central connecting exhibit is the courtyard just to the north of us now. Further north, we have Antiquities, host to several artifacts and art pieces spanning global cultures and eras. On the second floor, there is only one unique gallery, fine art, typically canvas. Of course, as you investigate, you'll notice there are balconies that look down into a few of the first floor exhibits as well. I hope that's helpful, Detective, but you can always reference the brochure map if you get lost somehow. Very helpful, thank you. Do you mind if I ask a couple more questions before I go? I would expect nothing then. Alright, I like that it turns gray. Alright, about today's events. Go on then. Before? Yes. What were you doing? During operating hours, I don't do much except greet visitors, and today was no exception. On days when we're particularly busy, I may mingle and let the guards stand station, but that wasn't the case today. Up until the argument began upstairs, nothing seemed out of place. The guard and I were here having an idle chat. Unfortunate that it couldn't stay that way. Could I ask a few more questions then? I would expect nothing that. Okay. During. Certain. What happened? Let's see. The guard and I heard an argument beginning upstairs, but it wasn't an immediate concern to me. I didn't want him to make a scene, but it continued to heat up on its own. Then we heard the gunshot moments later. Even with the accompanying sound of broken glass, my instinct was to make sure the guide was safe. I thought she was in the sculpture gallery, but the guard found her in Antiquities, stunned. He called for me, and I ran right over. And it was true. She was frozen, solid, startled by the cacophonous noise. The guard was concerned, of course, but took off towards the blaring alarm. Despite the chaos of it all, I maintained my focus on her. Eventually, I got through, and do you know the first thing she said to me, Detective? Call the police! Immediately looking out for the museum. So selfless. To a fault. You heard gunshot. I mean, I was like, that would be my first order of business regardless of anything. Gunshots! Police! But then again, you're just like, oh god, wait, someone, go help them. But it seemed like it took an awful long time for them to actually call the police. I went back to the foyer to do just that, but the tourist and the artist were there begging that I release the lockdown. I didn't know who was responsible for this mess, so I brushed them off without much opposition and made the call. I see. Let's move on to another topic then. I think that's everything. Just casually stroll. The plaque reads, what is MLLE? Mle Orangutani by Konstantin Krenexi? I will say right now, I don't know art. I don't know if this is a reference to something. I don't know if this is a sponsor, a Kickstart backer, or whatever the heck. Mle Orangutan. The expression of this piece is so complex. Notes of anger, hints of boredom, a dash of really need to itch my nose, and so many more. Ah, yes. That's art right there. That I do recognize. I don't ask me what it's called, but I do actually, the woman with the blue head thing. I'm so great with art, guys. The plaque reads, calf with a pearl oh, so isn't it just woman with a pearl earring? By Johannes Vermeerkit. You'd think the large ears would be distracting, but the earring still really draws the eye. And that is Van Gogh, I know that one. The plaque reads, vase with 15 sunflowers by Vincent van Giraffo. Although, is it Van Gogh or Van Gogh? I've heard both. To think that we would go so far as to cut off one of his own ossicones? If I had to take a guess, like osteo, osteoarthritis, right? It's osteo is bone. I'm assuming a giraffe's ear is called an ossicone. Listen, I'm learning about cats and dogs. I'm not learning about giraffes. If only he knew how prolific his art would become. Well, isn't that an artist thing? You only become famous when you're dead? The plaque reads, semi-colored vase by A Weiwei. Do you think he dipped the vase in paint or just drizzled it on top? You know, I should have eaten before arriving to the scene. What? Why? The plaque reads, The Sheaf by Henry Muffleece. I'm going to assume a sheaf is some sort of shrubbery. At the very least, a leafy plant of some kind. Sure, looks shrubbery-ish. Hold on, I don't... no, I won't. My camera doesn't turn that much. So Sprinkle is the only kitten remaining, right? And Mama Ego is still here. So Sprinkle doesn't really have any more kittens to play with. So she's going after Mama Ego instead. And this poor Mama Cat, who has done so much, just has this little tiny kitten just jumping up on her all the time. Play with me, Mama. Play. And it is flipping. Hey, hold it right there. Did you pay admission when you came in? Ha! Got you good, didn't I? A little security check is all. Always good to meet another agent of Lady Justice, Detective. What can I do for you? I'm hoping you can assist my investigation. Oh, absolutely. Anything you need at the drop of a hat. Just by answering a few questions for now, I need to be clear that even as a museum guard, you aren't exonerated here. Of course. I wouldn't have it any other way. Not only am I loyal to the law, I'm loyal to this museum, and the wrongs against it must be righted. Let's start with a few questions, if you wouldn't mind. Personal questions first. 10-4, good buddy. Who are you? Not much to brag about in that department, Detective. Can I just point out the cartoonish ridiculousness that is in the middle of the screen, and the kind of realistic bear and cat, like, why do they look so vastly different from when they're talking to what those bears look nothing alike. Well, what do you do in your free time? I like to keep up with various TV shows and movies, but don't we all? That's not very interesting. I read a whole bunch too. Talk about boring. I don't think that's boring. Honestly, I wish I had time for more of that kind of thing. I used to say the same thing, believe it or not. But if you don't make time to enjoy things, there won't be much of you left. Just a couple whiskers and a suit. Let's just stay on topic. Do you have any family, friends? Couple buddies from back in the day, but started to feel like we were worlds apart, you know? A wife at home, but no kids. She has some great friends, longtime friends, and they call me friend. I'm alright with that. I understand. Let's continue on, yes? Absolutely. I'm an open book and full of pictures. Okay, what do you do? I keep the peace within these marble walls. Marble? Inside these marble walls. I don't know if that's a word or a misspelled. Not sure. A much more manageable scale than I'm sure you deal with, Detective. On the regular, sure, but for tonight, we have that in common. Ah! You got that right. As far as my day-to-day is concerned, we don't really get much commotion around here. Was there a time when disturbances were more typical? No, I guess not, but we had more people around overall, you see? Hey, if all else fails, maybe this whole debacle will get the museum some attention again. That'd really be something, huh? I suppose anything's possible. Why don't we discuss something else? Alrighty, so... personal questions. What'd you do before? I worked as a policeman for a while, but not as long as expected at the time. You certainly don't look like you've reached retirement age. Young for retirement, sure, but not that young. Most folks stay in the field for a long time. Wasn't for me, though. I grew up with police dramas and was big enough to deal with bullies, but the concept of bullies is a bit more difficult when you're an adult. Nail on the head, Detective. Don't get me wrong, there were times when it was very clear, just not always. Even instances that were clear in the beginning became murky down the road, or in retrospect. Eventually, parting ways with the force seemed like the best decision. I came to that conclusion sometime later. By that, you mean it wasn't entirely your choice. Highly encouraged choice, perhaps. A tale that isn't too uncommon, I think. Could we discuss something else? Alright, today's events. You've got the green to go ahead, Detective. What were you doing? As per usual, I was hanging out in the foyer. I just like saying it. Like, I know it's just a foyer, but the foyer sounds just so much better. Having a little chat with the curator. When things are especially slow, I might take a walk around the exhibits or get some fresh air. But I was feeling a little more lazy today. Oh boy, that doesn't sound too good, does it? I don't want you thinking I neglected my duties. Thing is, nothing seemed weird. It was totally normal morning, afternoon, and evening. I understand, so none of the guests acted strangely. We get all walks of life, and I do my best not to judge one way or another, eh? So nah, not so much. All things considered, this feels like a poor circumstance to me, Detective. I see. Interesting. Why don't we discuss some more then? Alrighty, so what happened? Oh dear, where do I begin? The curator and I heard an argument upstairs. I was ready to go to the defense of the situation, but the curator was hoping it would solve itself. I don't quite understand it, but in my experience, artists tend to hold strong opinions, so I trusted the curator's judgment call for a moment. But I made my way into the courtyard when it heated up. Fight was upstairs, though, so I just had to keep moving through. A few moments later, a gunshot shattered glass soon after, and I didn't skip a beat. Some habits die hard, I guess. Well, I got to Antiquities and found the guide stopped in her tracks. Maybe I should have kept moving, but I had to make sure she was okay. It's admirable, at the very least. I'm sure she appreciated it. Oh, gosh, it's really confusing who's talking when. I apologize that I just kind of switch. Also, my ADHD brain is distracted. Oh, I have no mouse. On the left side, this is I think the arrow for the door keeps moving, and I am trying really hard to not pay attention to it. And I'm just like, no, keep reading. You're probably right, but hey, I wasn't actually much help. Nothing I could say had her come to. I called for the curator since there was still a matter of whatever went down in natural history. I got there at about the same time as the podcaster, but she knew just as much as I did, and that wasn't much. I actually really like that they don't have names and it's just the name. Like, it adds an interesting tidbit to it. It's gotta be me. There's a Korean show on Netflix that I love. It's called Crime Scene Zero. The show's been around for like actually 10 years or so, but that's the only one that's on Netflix. And that's like the names that they give them. And like they have different roles. It's kind of like a competition show, mystery kind of thingy-bobber where someone did it, but the people don't know who did it, so they have to solve the mystery, which is it's hilarious. I highly encourage it. But everyone, so it'll be like, Kim wife, Kim eldest son, Kim daughter, and like they all have names of like who they are as kind of jokes, and it's actually makes it really easy to be like, oh wait, this person, wait, who was Henry? Who was this person? And I'm like, I actually like that. The display case was already destroyed, so to save the diamond or the victim, I was too slow again. Okay, so he's saying, I was like, are you calling the victim the diamond? But no, so the diamond's gone and the victim is dead. If there was anything left to do, it was call the police. Thankfully, the curator was already on the line and things had mostly calmed down by then. I appreciate the thorough recollection. Let's move on to something else. Alright, I think additional details. Standing by for inquiry, detective. About the alarm? Oh, yeah. Well, you see, the amazing thing is that it's real smart. It can tell who's who and do what it's gotta do. Real accurate, too. Certainly there's some downside to it, no? Nail on the head, detective. When it was installed, they told us it was a little slow. It doesn't make mistakes because for a computer, it takes its time. Although, for a person like you or me, it's still pretty dang fast. It just has to, I don't know, double check, I guess. As a way of being selective, only locking down what's necessary and trying to minimize panic in a chaotic situation. Come to think of it, the actual sound of the alarm was supposed to be one of the more severe stages of lockdown. The old guy who used to work on it could tell you more, but we've never seen it in action before today. Maybe try asking the curator. I think I will, but until then, I have a few other things to discuss. I don't think I do, actually. But does that mean, because usually these types of games, I can go over, and I will also not remember the voices I give to people at all. Ah, detective, I trust the investigation is going well. Of course, I have several things to discuss. All right, so I can't ask you about the alarm. Well, forget about that then. I want dinosaur bones. So we're going to dinosaur bones. Ooh! All right, this definitely seems to be the epicenter of our case. I totally knew that. Oh my gosh, there's so many rooms. Looks like the victim there, lying on their back just south of the destroyed display case that stands in the exact middle. That's a set. Looks like the victim there, lying on their back just south of a destroyed display case that stands in the exact middle of the room. I don't know why that makes me feel like I'm having an aneurysm. Several dotted blood spatters across the floor, along with a few pieces of what appears to be stone debris. Other artwork looks to be unaffected, and a witness at the scene. No shortage of places to start, so let's get to it. Alright, we got all kinds of stuff to do. Ooh. The plaque reads, mosquito preserved in amber, discovered in Southeast Asia. Who knows what sort of horrible things this bug could be carrying? Ancient plagues, mind control curses, dinosaur theme parks. I knew there was going to be a Jurassic Park joke in there. I suppose we should all consider ourselves lucky this wasn't the exhibit to break. Even if it broke, it's not like the mosquito's going to come to life. The plaque reads, collection of ancestor tools discovered across multiple regions. I wonder what the predecessors would think if they saw what we could carve from stone nowadays. They probably think all those sculptures in the other exhibit were wildly impractical. The plaque reads, Tyrannosaurus skeleton of the Cretaceous period. Hey, look, things I can say. Iconic dinosaur, but I much prefer the Stegosaurus. Even a Triceratops would rank higher, personally. That's just a wrong opinion. Is that a wallet? I think it's a wallet. I love how it's just like Paper Mario flat. Ugh, this has always been my least favorite part of the job. Victim presents male, likely mid-20s in age, 4 facial piercings, and wearing a leather jacket. Initial signs show 2 impact wounds to the back of the head, all things considered, minimal blood loss. And... nothing on his person. A wallet, keys, not even an ID. Poor guy. I'll figure out what happened here, don't worry. Sus. This is the pedestal where the stolen gemstone was once displayed. I'm sorry, I literally just noticed what was on the right-hand side, and bless you developers. Apps, I need to read that and be- oh my gosh, it's the spiritual stones! Why are they here? If you don't know what that's from, we can't be friends, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm so distracted. What should I investigate here? The spiritual stones, it's very important. Where's the ocarina? The exhibit placard. The plaque reads, Optimus Diamond, circa 1700. Where could you be hiding, precious little stone? Oh, so I gotta do it again. The broken case. Seems like a classic smash and grab. There are stones strewn across the floor, so it's possible the thief used them to break the glass case. I'll put this statue chunk into evidence just in case I can learn anything from looking it over. It doesn't seem like there's any other incriminating details here, though. Never that easy anymore, is it? I have to remember how to... oh, that's what... so we got a bunch... is that the only thing I have so far? Yes. statue piece, a chunk of stone that was once part of a museum exhibit before being destroyed. A fragment of an art piece carved from stone and depicting the facial structure of an ancient species. It's believed that the largest versions were used as symbolic and ritualistic monuments. Despite their durability, there are not many still in existence, especially at this size. And now, unfortunately, there's one last. Will examining it closer provide any deeper insights into what happened? I don't know, but let's examine it close. Oh, wait, there's... What's that? Did I see something? What's that? Oh, of course! I knew there was something else here! While it may have broken further in the fall, it was certainly destroyed prior, assuming at least that this is the flattened tip of some ammunition. Oh, that's what that was. I wonder where the casing's hidden. Finding that could help me track down the murder weapon. Interesting. It seems like a bullet stuck in the piece, breaking it into several segments. This knocked it from the balcony, where it became fractured further. Such a shame. So it was shot. The flattened tip of a fired bullet, found lodged within the broken statue pieces of a museum exhibit. This crushed bullet tip has no signifying features other than its caliber. Considering the size, our most likely conclusion is that it was fired from a pistol, impacted the art piece, and destroyed it. It's yet unclear if that was the intended target and where it was shot from. Very I have a bunch of... Oh my gosh. Okay. I just want to get rid of the notifications because it's... I got a bunch of words, which is fine, but I want them to go away. Earlier tonight, the blank blank and the blank blank with the blank, who surprisingly had a blank. They blank and the blank, and eventually the blank blank from the blank blank. Amidst the chaos, someone blanked the blank from the blank blank. Led by the blank staff also included the loyal blank and the knowledgeable blank. Suspects and witnesses included the eccentric blank, the bitter blank, as well as the distinguished blank. They also included the anxious blank, the jolly blank, and the reserved blank. Alright, I think led by the curator. How do I pick things? Wait, the museum staff? Yeah, the museum staff also included... It's actually kind of awkward. I'm assuming the loyal is gonna be the guard, because the guard seems like a loyal person to me. So we have a knowledgeable, eccentric, bitter, anxious, jolly, and reserved. This I'm gonna need a lot more information for, but at least we can put that together. And, oh gosh. It's for alarm. Guess at the museum did recall hearing an alarm, but I should continue to learn more. While discussing the stolen jewel with the guard, he mentioned a state-of-the-art security system. While circumstantially poor, he was glad to know it actually worked. Okay. The curator's primary and only concern was identifying the culprit behind the attempted heist of the incredibly valuable diamond from the museum's natural history exhibit. Apparently, the museum is equipped with a state-of-the-art security system, which would likely provide more concrete information about what happened here. It seems the thief took destructive measures to steal the jewel, or did they? Is there a way I could access the security system's data? Maybe not, but it's worth looking into. Initial investigations have presented quite the complex crime scene, including the victim, a broken display case, several large stone pieces, and one first-hand witness. Embedded within one of the broken statue pieces was the tip of a fired bullet. It doesn't seem like the victim sustained any obvious major injuries, and interestingly had no belongings on their person. Upon entering the museum, I was greeted by the curator, who gave me an overview of the incident that occurred just hours earlier. The museum has only one person on their security detail, the guard, whose jovial nature is quite disarming. I should inquire with them for more specific detail, but I also need to speak with everyone else who is present. Awesome, I'm just getting rid of these notifications. Oh, okay, so this is everybody. So, okay. So this is basically motive. Sell off the rare gemstone in an insurance fraud or embezzlement scheme. Interesting. So that would be potentially his motive for doing things. And these are basically summaries of what they said. Motive. Create an unsolvable mystery, a perfect crime to promote the museum. That's not bad, actually. Alright, so we got a... Oh, punk. He entered the museum alone. Began touring the various exhibits, starting in the natural history exhibit, where I'm... Well, and then he died here? Student and tourist. Okay, got a bunch of people. Look at all that beautiful notification going. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a tick-tock second. The plaque reads Spiritual Stones, circa 1998. Legend says you can time travel one whole dog year with these. Oh my gosh. Shut up. Shut up, you nerds. You absolute nerds. Okay, so for people who have no idea what this is, all right, I'm sorry we can't be friends, but let me educate you. These are the spiritual stones from Ocarina of Time, right? My childhood game. This is the game that I grew up on, and one of the first things. So you go as a child Link and collect these 3 spiritual stones, and then you are trapped, stuck within the spiritual realm for 7 years, which is why it's one whole dog year, because they say 1 human year is 7 years and dog years. Shut up. That fits so perfectly. Get out of here. That's brilliant. That's absolutely flipping brilliant. Oh, nerdgasm. The plaque reads Amethyst Geode, sustainably sourced from Central Europe. Mother Goose's creations have such unparalleled beauty. So instead of Mother Earth, it's Mother Goose? Or is it covered in blood? The plaque reads Mammoth Tusk, circa 3000 BC. Imagine the size of the elephant folk attached to this. Are we not going to talk about the blood? Is that not covered in blood? The plaque reads Collection of ancestor skulls discovered across multiple regions. There's so much about the ancient civilizations that we still don't know. I guess we never will. It really makes you think, huh? I love ancient stuff. Alright, look, a person. Hiya, detective! I just want to say, it's like so awesome to meet a real, almost somewhat famous Philadelphian investigator in person. Oh, and I absolutely cannot wait to tell you all about my show. Will you be willing to do an interview? I'm sorry, your show? I'm a true crime podcaster. It's called Tales of the Dark and Desperate. And this episode is about to go hella viral. Wait. Are you recording right now? No, I didn't bring my equipment. Ugh, what an absolute rookie mistake. Like 5 listeners an episode, level amateur. Okay, what's wrong with having 5 listeners an episode? Gosh darn it. By the way, you should seriously subscribe. You have your phone on you, right? Just let me look myself up and hit that button real quick. No big deal. I totally have not done that to all of my family and coworkers. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, let me just see your phone real quick and oh, your YouTube subscribe. Mrs. Hit the subscribe button, by the way, everyone, right now, please. I actually don't keep a mobile phone on me. Personal technology would be a distraction at the crime scene. Ugh, that is actually so sad. Okay, we have things to discuss. Let's stay on topic, please. Like, whatever you need, detective. Personal questions. Oh, like, totally. Who are you? Oh, come on, detective. I told you about my podcast. Are you saying you didn't go and read my bio? If you're not a big reader, watch my daily vlog. That'll give you the general vibe. Well, it was gonna be daily, and it was weekly, and now I just kind of post whenever. The last one is pretty old, so it'll be out of date, but yeah, apologies, but I'm not gonna watch your vlog. So please, if you could provide a brief answer to the question, that would be appreciated. Ugh, rude. The least you could do is submit your questions to my word vlog. You can do it anonymously if you want. I'm sorry, but isn't a vlog just a video blog? So, a word vlog is a normal blog. Actually, never mind. I've learned plenty. Let's change topics. Like, whatever you need, detective. What do you do? I have a true crime podcast called Tales of the Dark and Depressive. Dark and Depressive? The Dark and Desperate. So make sure to totally obliterate that subscribe button if you don't miss an episode. Oh, wait. Haven't I told you this already, detective? You have. I was asking more about what you do in a professional sense. Are you trying to say that what I do isn't professional enough? Ha! Gotcha. Ugh, too easy, detective. I work at a coffee shop, but that's like so boring. Punch in, punch out, you know how it is. But after this episode absolutely pops off, I'm gonna quit so fast, or at least like quiet quick. I still need health insurance or whatever. Of course. Why don't we talk about something else now? Like whatever you need. All right. So wait, it's not about true crime. You have quite a passionate interest. Why is that? Oh, I know a trick question when I hear one, detective. Of course I love crime. Crime solving. Crime solving. Do you have a background in criminology? That sounds like a question I can only answer behind the paywall. Did you know you can unlock great perks like this on my Patreon? That won't be necessary. By the long paw of the law, let's stay on topic. By the way, Missy Spooks has Patreon. Did you know you can help support the channel? The link's in the description below. Well, you know, true crime is trendy, so that was a good start, but then, I don't know, it was genuinely fascinating. In all honesty, I'm pretty normal, and my life has been, like, pretty easy. There's people out there that There's people out there that have definitely not have it easy. Trying to step into the shoes of a criminal is one thing, but thinking about everyone around them, that's different. It's just easy to think, this wouldn't happen to me, until it does. True crime lets you really reflect on unrealistic situations that are very real. That's actually quite insightful. I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm like, wow, that's actually kind of deep. If you want to know more, make sure to wickedly whack that follow. Yes, there's another question I have for you. All right, today's events. For sure. What were you doing? I was mostly just wandering around, but when I got to the courtyard, I saw the tourists had this dope retro camera. We were just kind of going back and forth on old school photography techniques. Stuff like that was huge on Instagram a couple of years ago. Then we got interrupted by that argument. He handed me the camera while he tried to break it up from down here, but they weren't interested in listening. Who was arguing? No one has told me who was arguing. I see. I assume you gave the camera back to him at some point, yes? Oh yeah, for sure, but not right away because things really started getting out of control. Oh, in that case, I've got a couple more questions for you. Like, what happened? Oh my gosh, I remember it so vividly. If only I was recording, my audience really likes authentic audio. That gunshot would get me so many upvotes. Blammo! That's when things really popped off, you know? I couldn't really see much up there, though, and when the guard ran through, he and the tourists were so frantically scattered, I, pretty much tuned them out. Besides, we all heard glass break in the next room over, and I needed to give first-hand account of things. Fame isn't for the fawn-hearted, detective. I ran from the courtyard and saw the punk lying there. It seemed like he fell from the balcony. I rushed over to check on him, but he was so dead. Not like kinda dead, but so dead. And what of the diamond? It was already gone. I explained that to the guard when he came in, then I guess he went off to go search for it someplace else. I figured with the alarm going off, I wouldn't be able to leave anyway, so I just sat tight and waited in here. Okay, I think I don't have. Oh, yes, I do have. All right. About the guard. He said you both entered the exhibit simultaneously, but this contradicts your testimony. Why the inconsistency? I don't know what you want me to say, detective. I, told you everything I know already. I came in, saw the diamond was gone, took a quick look over the body, and then the guard came running in after. If I was gonna lie, wouldn't it make more sense for me to agree with the guard? I'm admitting to having no witnesses! Huh, I suppose you're right. So the diamond really was missing when you arrived? Yeah! Okay, fine. I'll ask some different questions instead. Alright, additional details. Only if you subscribe! Ha! Just kidding. Please, please subscribe. Please, pretty please subscribe to the channel, please. It's just that little button. Just click it. It costs you nothing. Just to hit the button. About the victim. You mentioned he had already fallen from the balcony above. Did you do any closer examination than that? Why do you ask? Thing is, he didn't have anything on him. Not even a wallet, no ID. Doesn't that seem strange to you? Oh, detective, that's because I, gathered them for you ahead of time so you wouldn't miss anything. Is that so? Tampering with a crime scene can be a serious offense, you know. But it wasn't tampering, it was assisting. I know about standard procedure, so I just, went ahead and did it for you. That's all it was, huh? Lying to an authority of the law is also quite an offense. Oh, okay. I took his stuff because it would have been amazing promo material. You can't blame me for trying to fabricate a viral sensation, detective. And besides, what if he had been stabbed and I needed to stop the bleeding? That logic doesn't even... You know what? I've got other things to discuss with you, and then I'll be on my way. I think that's everything. I don't have anything to discuss. Do we get... yeah, I was like, I'm assuming we get that stuff. A small collection of items that once belonged to the victim prior to his demise. Requisitioned from the podcaster, it's a fairly normal set of possessions, including a receipt for admission to the museum, a business card, and a bottle of medication. If I want to learn more, I should start by closely examining what I have and then ask around for other insights from various guests. The business card advertises a true crime podcast, presumably given to the victim by the podcast. Okay. Do we have a name? Oh, of course. I knew there was something else here. This receipt. Why would he be paid twice? I didn't actually really look at that, but as far as I'm aware, he didn't come in with anyone, right? Since I can't question him directly, I'll have to ask around some more. I don't really... What? He paid twice? Oddly, the receipt showed he paid the museum twice, so he did come in with somebody. Is that what that means? Oh, I got some other words. Just hate all the notifications. Witness include eccentric. Would you call... I think I would call the podcaster eccentric? Not distinguished. I don't think it's anxious. I feel like the podcaster would be eccentric. So I'm gonna put that here until I have anything better to do. One current attendee is the true crime enthusiast, the podcaster, just as eccentric as they are suspicious. Huh? Alright, nice. And then we have them in our notes. Motive. Create a viral-worthy episode of her true crime podcast by committing an actual crime. That's true! That's true. Could be. So if I have... No. I was like, if I have that note, then it should be able to, say something about this guy, but let's head to other rooms. The courtyard exhibit. No sense in leaving any stone unturned, or shrub in this case. Just gotta reach a paw in and rustle some leaves. Oh, what's this? Something's perched between these branches. It's cold and it feels like... metal? Could it be what I think it is? Yes! It's the casing to match the tip from earlier. How the fudge did you find that in a tree? I'll have to update the evidence records now that I have both pieces of this bullet. However, the question remains. Where is the weapon that fired it? I would assume on the person who did it. Discarded or perhaps hidden within the courtyard shrubbery was the casing for the bullet. How the fudge did you see that? That's what I want to know. So, did you get rid of these notifications? Where is... Oh, here. The casing was found nestled within several branches of the museum's courtyard topiary, while the tip was... Neither has any signifying features other than the caliber, which we can assume from the size means it was fired from a pistol on the courtyard balcony. However, several factors are still left unknown, like where the weapon ended up. Based on everything I know so far, I could triangulate its most likely hiding spot. How could you? It could be hidden anywhere. The plaque reads, on the essence of color by Sir Ribert Krokstein von Lilypad de Wort the Fourth. I don't know. I don't know if this is what it's going for, okay? Because I'm what you call a nerd. I don't think it is. Let's see. Percival. I don't think so. But when I see that, the first thing it could be. The first thing I think of is Percival Frederickstein von Musil-Kowalski de Rollo the Third. It's close. It's close enough. Because Frederickstein, where Krokstein, Von, now we got Percy's got Musil-Kowalski, de Rollo, de Wort, and he's the third, and that's the fourth. If you know who that's from, we can be friends. I don't think that's what this is referring to, but there's a lot of nerdy references here, so maybe they're Critical Role fans. I don't know. In the nasty world of noir gray, be a crystal of color. I don't know. It could be. It could be. As you expect, I've never really been a fan of water. But if my suspicions are correct, I need to do what must be done. Paw into the fountain, detective. Here goes nothing. Oh dear, it's cold and very wet. Oh, my fur is gonna be uncomfortable for the rest of the evening. Aha! There it is. The murder weapon. A smoking and dripping gun. That is a horrible place to throw a gun. It was likely fired during the brawl upstairs and dropped soon after. I'll have to look it over to gather more information, then start questioning the various suspects about it too. That's a terrible place to put that. Why would you put that there? A small basic pistol that was fired once, a small caliber firearm that I found submerged within one of the museum's courtyard fountains. While it's likely that the gun was used and then either lost or tossed into the water below, there isn't much I can derive from the weapon alone. Who's the owner? Did they pull the trigger or someone else? Why was it brought here in the first place? I should begin this line of questioning with closer examination and find what that effort may yield. Yeesh, first it's too hot, I have the air conditioning on, so it's too cold. I turn the air conditioning off, so it'll probably get too hot again. Let's see. It does in fact look like a gun. Like, is there supposed to be something here? I legit have done every angle of this gun. And I'm very distracted by that thing. There's nothing here. But it says that inspect it. What am I supposed to inspect? It's not like there's a name carved into it. I'm very confused. Am I crazy? Like, legitimately, there's nothing here. It wants me to inspect it, but I'm hitting the button. But yeah, there's nothing unusual on this thing. I don't know what it... I should begin this line of questioning with a closer examination. I mean, I can't zoom in. Okay, I legitimately don't know what they want from me, so let's just go talk to people. Shrug. Just gonna go to, I don't think there's anything else in the room. Oh, that's a sus vent. I'm just gonna say that vent is kind of sus. What's up, my dude? Howdy doody, detectoroonie? Duty. Please, call me detective. I'm the investigator on this case. How are you holding up with all the commotion? Just tippy-topper, copper, a little worried. I'm getting behind on my itinerary, but I survive. An itinerary? Are you on vacation? You ding-dang bet I am. A nice long trip like I always wanted to. I just wasn't in the dealer's deck till recent. Call me a regular tourist, because I know you gotta plan every stop. You know what they be saying, detective? Failing to plan is like planning to have a good time getting lost. I love doing this. I don't think we should get to the... I think we should get to the topic at hand, don't you? Righty-o, don't hold back. Personal questions. Hit me with your best shot. Who are you? I've got my line name's detective, but what you see is what you get. Just an old free spirit flying through the back half of life. That sounds quite nice, actually. Are you flying with any family? Oh, you really are good at this, huh? Yeah, I always know what to ask. Of course I've got family. A little brother and his starved piglets. Dear me, does their mother have her hose full with them? She's practically a sister to me, too. You said you're traveling. Is it difficult to be away from them? It stings the soul, that's for sure, but I try to send a postcard every couple days, and I've collected far too many souvenirs for him. When our pop would go out on business trips, he'd always bring little baubles back with him, so you know I gotta keep the tradition alive. I'm sure the kids love that too. Let's move on with something else for now. Righty-o, don't hold back. Alright, what do you do? Nowadays, not much. I'll do some odd jobs when I get back from this big old vacation, but past that, no more grind for me. That's a fortunate position to find yourself in. How'd you manage that? That's a tough one, cat detective. Long story short, my pops was in some particular business, at least until he died. I was a teenager then, and my brother was even younger, so fending for ourselves wasn't much an option. Luckily, Pop's work buddies took us in. When I got a bit older, I took over the operation he left behind. A decade later, we landed a pretty profitable contract, and the rest is history. I see. Did your brother follow along as well? Mighty heavens, no. In fact, that's what kept my eye on the truffle. I didn't want him to get involved. Exactly what business are we talking about? That's admirable. Why don't we talk about something else now? Yeah, I really want to know what kind of business. About this business. Now that's a story, and I bet you don't want me to spare even the tiniest detail. Don't be afraid to abridge slightly if necessary. Ha! I'm just yanking your tail. Thing is, there's not much to say. I was a poor piglet told to pick himself up by his bootstraps, and I don't even wear boots. All told, I worked hard, but it was a couple lucky decisions and better company. Right places and left times, you know? I'm nothing if not a storyteller, and a good one at that, but I wouldn't want to put you into a catnap with the details, detective. No manner of details will be enough to distract from the fact that you refuse to answer the question, or did you truly think I wouldn't realize? Look, Whiskers, simply put, some of those crowds weren't the most savory, but folks with deep pockets. Pops put us into some circumstances, then went off and oinked. It forced me into decisions I don't like having made. All that's important to know now is, well, I got more curls in my tails these days. Wouldn't make those choices again if I had to. I won't press the issue now, but I hope you understand that if I have a reason to suspect its relevance, I won't have much choice. Oh, I get it. Don't sound so stern, detective. If you think I'm running from something or into another, rest assured the worst of it is already comes with me The worst of it already comes with me everywhere. I understand. I don't. Let's change topics again. He absolutely works for the Mafia. Alright, about today's events. You want it? You got it. What were you doing? Let me tell you, much of the same I'm doing right now. Standing on my own 2 hooves, gazing at all these colors. At least until the podcaster came on through and started asking about my camera. They called it such an old school vibe. What about it was she interested in? I don't know, but she was mighty excited. I let her look it over because it didn't seem much harm in that. Alright, I'm just gonna throw this out. It might be the podcaster who stole the diamond and it's in that camera. Could be. I took my eyes off it when the argument upstairs started becoming an issue, but she didn't seem shady or nothing. That's when things really started to kick off. Is that so? Let's discuss further then. Alright, what happened? A whole lot, if you ask me. Well, I guess you are asking me, aren't you? But much of it I wasn't privy to. Those 2 upstairs were in a bit of a brawl, and one of them shot a gun. Instinctually, I stepped in front of the podcaster, but luckily I don't think anyone actually got hit. That was when we heard some glass smash in the other room, and the museum's alarm started blaring. Didn't think this sort of thing could still rile me up. But at that moment, I must have been sweating something fierce, like someone splashed my back with a pail of water. I tried to tell the gal to save her own fur, but I don't know. Maybe she was more invested than she let on. I was gonna carry her out. When I got to the foyer, the artist was already arguing with the curator about letting us out. I guess the alarm put everything on total lockdown. And I don't blame a single feather on them. They didn't know what was what. They just told us to stand by and wait for the police. Not my favorite gang to deal with, but I sat tight. That's about all she wrote. Understood. I don't think I have... Oh, additional details. Yes, I do. About your camera. Oh, this old thing? It's been my trusty companion for ages. Been through some bumps and bruises, but nothing a good buff can't fix. Had a hearty crash today, didn't we, buddy? Ha! You didn't mention that in your testimony. What happened? Didn't I? I told you I let the podcaster look it over, right? When everything started to go sideways, the gunshot probably spooked her and she dropped it. A real clatter, too. Second biggest of the day, maybe. I don't want to ignore the obvious issue here, so... Why do you have a camera in here anyways? Surely the museum's policies would forbid it. Oh, don't worry, detective. I had it all cleared with the curator. They said it was fine as long as I didn't take any photos. There isn't even any film in here. I guess that makes sense. The diamond is in that camera. Absolutely. 100. There's not even a film there. Lots and lots, oh my gosh, of space. Oh, it just tells me that the gun is here. I legitimately, I don't know what I'm supposed to look at. It's definitely telling me that I need to look at the gun. But there's nothing here to look at. I'm very confused about this thing, which is really terrible. Because I'm sure this is important. Okay. I don't know what to do with it. Inspections before I inspected the gun. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? What is his motive? Oh, hold on. So we know that this is wrong. So he didn't come in. Admission receipt. Ah, I see. That makes sense. As far as I can tell, he did enter alone, but with one extra detail. He paid enough admission for 2. Anyone would assume this is just an act of kindness, but can we claim that for certain? Yeah, so the punk didn't enter alone. Let's see. Got some new words that I need to get rid of, please. So what would we call the tourist? Jolly? I think he would be the jolly tourist. Yeah, that sounds about right. tonight, it's gonna be the blank blank in the blank. So, somebody fought in the whatever's upstairs with someone else who surprisingly, I bet it surprisingly had a gun. I think I have some words. Where is gun? Do I not have gun? Why do I not have the word for gun? I literally have the gun. They fought in the blank, and eventually the blank, I probably shot from the, I don't know. Yeah, the bottom part. Amidst the chaos, someone stole actions, which I don't have. So someone stole the diamond, gemstone? So someone stole the gemstone from the blank exhibit? Let's see, oh, do I have locations? Yeah. From the natural history? That is natural history, right? From the natural history exhibit. I bet that's right. So someone stole the gemstone from the, yeah. I don't think the person who shot the guy and who stole the gemstone, I think he could have done it too. I think it was the podcaster who stole the diamond. I don't think they killed anyone, but my cats are being adorable. Alright, I don't want to go upstairs. Go this way. The sculpture exhibit. The plaque reads, "In Pursuit of Wings" by an unknown artist. How much of ourselves we relinquish in pursuit of our desires? Oh, I know this plight well, don't I? The plaque reads, "Gold blindfold on marble bust by an unknown artist. A man with golden eyes." Is that a reference to the spy thriller? I'm babooned? James babooned! Ha! What a classic. Get out of here. Get out of here. James babooned. The plaque reads, "Stone swirl by an unknown artist." I can see why they wanted to be left anonymous. Alright, I hate whatever that thing is in the middle. I absolutely hate it. The plaque reads, "Somewhat patterned ceramic squares" by Kaiser Swedeswan. This reminds me of a game I played as a kid with the timer and the blocks. You know what? Not important. Timer and the blocks? I'm trying to figure out what on earth he's talking about. I hate this. Black reads, instead of Daddy Long Legs, it's Mamani Long Legs by Louise Borgios. Even small, behind the glass, I can feel my fur standing straight up. Got that right, I hate that. Why is there a bunch of TV? See, this is what I don't understand about modern art. Like, this is art. It's just a bunch of TVs! The plaque reads, "Nostalgia on Cathode Ray Tube" by Hayao Miyazebra. Hey, I get that reference. Oh, I know that one too. Wait, and that one. What? The plaque reads, "Metal Angles" by an unknown artist. This looks like they dropped a bunch of cutlery in the garbage disposal, and that is a compliment. This is the Japanese spot lady. I know that. I understand that reference. Plaque reads, "Gourd" by Yayoi Kuswana. I've never been a big gourd fan. Are they supposed to look this diseased? Yeah, the polka dot lady. The plaque reads, "Balloon Dog" by Jeff Raccoons. I shouldn't get too close. I was never declawed. Which you never should be declawed. It's one of the cruelest things you can do to an animal. Hello! Greetings, I am the detective from Feline Forensics. Well, don't let me get in your way. Oh, I'm actually here for you. What? I'm innocent. I swear. I meant I'm here to talk to you. Some simple questions, really. There's no need to be so nervous. Unless you have a reason to be nervous. I'm innocent. I swear. Oh, no, I was just making a joke. Trying to break the tension. I've been told I am very dry, so please accept my apologies. It's okay. I accept. Thank you for questioning me, and please go about your duties. I will stay out of your way. I appreciate that. Thank you. If you have any more... Wait, I haven't asked any questions yet. Oh, rats. I didn't think you'd realize. Fine. Go ahead. Personal questions. Ugh, I hate talking about myself, but we really shouldn't. Who are you? Oh, you don't care about that, detective. I'm just a little mouse. Nothing special. And like I said, also super innocent. You totally did it. I'm sure you are. So you wouldn't mind if I searched your backpack, for instance? Why would you need to do that? I haven't stolen anything and put it in my backpack, if that's what you think. I was just kidding again. Why did you come to the museum today? I came here for a date, okay? And they stood me up. Is that what you want me to say? And don't you know how hard it is these days with the apps and the mixtures and the socializing and the being attractive? Not to mention the texting and the flirting and the leaving the house. Oh, don't get me started on having to go outside. It's dreadful, detective. It's terrible. The only silver lining is that you can find places like this that are free to get stood up. Imagine having to pay for that type of embarrassment. Wait. Actually, never mind. My apologies. I'm sure there's another topic we can discuss instead. Oh, okay, detective, if you say so. What do you do? As in, what do you do for work? How do you make a living? I don't really make a living. I'm kind of unmaking a living, getting further and further in debt. Couldn't you tell from my distinct lack of sleep? I'm a student. Oh, I see. What are you studying? Game design. For the creativity of it, you know. And obviously the money! There's no denying that the tech industry is booming. I'm just gonna keep growing and growing. Line go up! Couldn't ask for more fantastic working conditions, too. It's incredibly accessible, historically inclusive, diversity off the charts. I don't... Stability? Look no further. Problematic behavior and business practice? Not here. Literally nothing to complain about. Not a thing at all. Actually, why don't we talk about something else? Today's events. Is that important? I don't think it is. Let's not do that. What were you doing? How far back should I go? I came in a few hours ago and started going through a few exhibits. You can skip ahead slightly. Right, of course. Totally. Well, I got into the natural history exhibit after a bit and started admiring all the artwork there. I could overhear what sounded kind of like an argument. I didn't give it much thought, minding my own business, but it started to get more intense. It didn't take long to realize it escalated further than it should have. Everything spun out of control from the air. I see. We should go over those details as well. Okay, detective, you say so. What happened? I couldn't tell what it was about, but I heard the argument upstairs was beginning to get physical. The bad things just kind of happen randomly nowadays, and better not to take any chances, you know? I got to the foyer, but that's when my suspicions were solidified. The sound of a gunshot. I pounced towards the door, and as I reached for the handle, the place went into total lockdown. I was scared, detective. I felt cornered, trapped into the only thing I could think of. I retreated into the sculpture gallery to hide until things calmed down. I almost knocked over one of the sculptures in my haste. Thankfully, it wasn't too long until everything seemed under control again. As in control as it could be, I suppose. Let's change the topic, all right? That's it. I like him. So that would be just the anxious. Oh yeah, absolutely. Did I just get it? Oh no, I have exhibit done. So we got artwork, treated. So the student is definitely anxious. You look distinguished. Woo, voices, need tea. Greetings, detective. Boy, am I glad you're here. Glad to be here, although not necessarily under these circumstances. Happy to help nonetheless. Unfortunately, I don't think I am going to be much help. I'm a bit of an anxious rabbit, you see. Oh, you would call yourself anxious. Wait, hold on a second. I just put no, you're definitely distinguished. Oh, that's okay. We can work through it slowly with whatever information we have. Oh, that's quite a relief. I know a lot about being a guide, but I'm afraid I just don't hold up under pressure. Huh, it is what it is, right? Of course, I'll need to ask a lot of questions. I can't leave any stone unturned, but let me know if it becomes too much. That sounds like a great plan, Detective. Great. Let's get to it if you're ready. Sure thing, Detective. I don't know if I trust you. Alright, personal questions. Who are you? Gosh, I don't tend to talk about myself much. After a few years, I'm still the museum's newest employee, but I've been into art history for a long time. Interesting. And how do you spend your free time? Oh, nothing super exciting. I have a sweet tooth, so I bake a bunch, enjoy a good period drama, I read when I can, what else? Considering your line of work, you never pursued the arts? Gosh, no. I mean, did I try watercolor once or twice? Yeah, but it was bad. Bad. Okay, I immediately identify with this rabbit, immediately. Don't get me started on the charcoals and the oil pastels I have sitting in my closet. A bit of an impulse. I can't art. Anything to do with stick figures, paint, oil, pastel, whatever the heck. I can't even tell you anything. I can't do that. But what I do, is needlework. I really like. I cross-stitch like no one's business. Everywhere. I have so much nerdy cross-stitch, my Zelda cross-stitch, Final Fantasy VII cross-stitch, Undertale cross-stitch, anything I can find on Etsy that has to do with video games, Dungeons and Dragons, cats, cute ones. I'm working on the most adorable little snake one right now because it's just flipping adorable. And I love cross-stitching. Embroidery I'm not bad at as long as I have a pattern to go through. Like, I can't just free embroider. If I have a print off, I can embroider on that. Fine. But there's a bunch of stuff that I can knit okay, but not very complicated. I can't crochet, and I wish I could. But I'll get all this craft stuff because I want to try new things, because I need something to do with my hands. I have to. I can't just sit and watch TV. I'll lose my mind. That's why I cross-stitch. Because it's something for my hands to do while I'm watching TV or doing whatever. Reading a book. I can't just read a book. I have to cross-stitch while I read a book. My mom just made fun of me because we were watching TV. I was doing I have like watch ads for money apps on my phone. And I had that going. I was reading a book and cross-stitching at the same time. And she's like, how is your mind not exploding? And I'm like, this is my perfect world right now. But I'll get like felting. I tried felting and just like made my fingertips bloody because I sucked at it. I tried crocheting. I tried all kinds of things. And like, I will just gather all these beginner kits and then they just live in my closet because I'm like, well, I suck at this. So let's just go back to cross-stitching because I'm okay at that. Obviously, I still study art a lot, but no, never really felt like making much. It's definitely not for everyone, including myself. Should we change the topic then? Sure thing, Detective. What do you do? I'm the current leader of education and guest relations here at the museum. If visitors have questions or they want a tour, I'm their bunny. Aside from that, I'm also the youngest member of the team, so I try to manage our marketing and outreach. The curator and the guard don't really understand social media, you know? Nowadays, though, that's my least favorite part of the job. The internet can be a cruel place. I don't envy you in the least. Folks make fair points, like about our exhibits, but they don't really understand how any of it works. They don't like that we keep art from cultures that aren't ours, and I don't disagree with them. But lots of people might never be exposed to those other cultures if we didn't. I don't know. It's complicated. I do agree with that. You know, like, there's a lot of stuff where clearly this museum is not where this item belongs. It was taken from whatever, all of this, and with or without permission, you know, and that's not good. But also at the same time, exactly what you said, other people would be exposed to this culture. And I always think of one of my favorite movies is The Lost Kingdom. And if you don't know The Lost Kingdom, sorry I'm going on a tangent here, but it really reminded me of this. is a kung fu movie that Jet Li and Jackie Chan did. I'll basically watch anything Jackie Chan is in because I love Jackie Chan. I grew up on Jackie Chan adventures, just like I love him. And it's this weird story about this kid who gets isekai'd into like medieval China, and kung fu karate kid like teaching this kid, these two great masters of kung fu teach him how to, you know, karate and all up. So it's not the right version of kung fu. I apologize, but I don't know which one they teach him. And then all of a sudden, randomly in the story is the Monkey King, which has nothing to do with it. And I read an article one time where Jackie Chan was kind of talking about these movies he made, and he was talking about that one specifically and said, why is the Monkey King in this movie, Sun Wukong? And it doesn't, why would you put it? But, you know, these Westerners are just like, oh, look, some Chinese something, let's put it into this to make our movie. And he goes, I'll do whatever, you know, whatever it is you want me to do. I'm here to make the movies, right? And he goes, but it doesn't make any sense. And to someone who grew up with that culture, I don't know if a lot of people of you would know who Sun Wukong is, but it is from a very old Chinese epic called Journey to the West. And I've never heard of it. I know a bajillion people who've never heard of it. Any people who know Sun Wukong probably had exposed his Japanese name is Son Goku. And that's what Goku from Dragon Ball Z was based off of. If you read just Dragon Ball, no Z, that's the story of Journey to the West-ish, and then, you know, made into anime form. But that movie, as weird as it is for a Chinese person, and doesn't understand why we're adding all these random Chinese culture things that make no sense whatsoever, just mashing them together, me as a Western person, that was my first exposure to the Monkey King. And I was curious, and I looked up the Monkey King, and I found Journey to the West. And Journey to the West is now my favorite story of all time. I've watched every single TV adaptation, every single movie. I own the books in multiple translations by different people who translated it into English, and it is one of my favorites. And it was because of that movie, this weird one-off of just like, what the heck, why is that even, but like, that is the only way someone like me, who doesn't live in that culture, would be exposed to it. So, Too Long Didn't Read of that is, I kind of understand what this is saying, where, yeah, it might be really bad that we have these things, and you probably should be over here or whatever, but also at the same time, this might be the only way that someone gets exposed to that culture and goes, wait, I want to learn more. I want to know that this is fascinating. What is this? Pros and cons. I see both sides. It's complicated. All right. Welcome to my rants. I love when these things remind me of stuff. Most of the world is these days. Why don't we discuss another point? Right? Oh, I didn't mean to. All right, hold on. Go back. Oh, wait, no, come back. No, stop. Personal questions. What did you do before? Ugh, just the most soul-draining corporate office work. I went to school for business, whatever that means. In retrospect, it felt like a bit of a scam. It's not like I was passionate about any of it, but it was safe, or so they said. Are you passionate about what you do now? Absolutely! I wouldn't change a thing. At least no major thing, right? Sure, there are bigger museums and better pay, but I used to think about that kind of thing way too much. I like the people here. I trust them, and they appreciate me. I get to inspire people's passions. Can't ask for more than that, I suppose. I do want to ask some more questions, though, if that's okay. That's kind of like what I do. I work at a vet clinic. Does it pay me the most money? No. Will it ever pay me the most money? No. But I love what I do, and I love the people that I do it with. I'm excited to go to work, which, I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that. What were you doing? Yeah, the incident. Before everything started to unravel, I was going about a normal day's business. More specifically, I was answering questions and offering tours to the various guests, but with varying success. That's not totally weird or anything, but the critic was the first to really engage at all. He had some questions about a sculpture, but then he started questioning my qualifications. Any particular reason for the change in topic? Maybe it was a distraction. We could overhear the old-timer shouting upstairs, but eventually he went upstairs to check on him anyways. I figured it would diffuse itself and they'd come back down, so I went to Antiquities, hoping I could escort them out for causing trouble. That didn't go as planned, unfortunately. I can see that. How about we discuss what happened next? Sure thing, Detective. What happened? Honestly, it all felt very sudden. I don't even really remember what happened. After everything had sort of resolved or calmed down, the curator said someone had shot a gun in the museum. That seems like a pretty difficult detail to miss with how loud it would be against all these marble walls. Yeah, the noise. I think that's what sent me into shock. The next thing I remember was the curator's voice breaking through this haze. They were trying to get me to do my breathing exercises, and when I was responsive enough, they left to call the police. But I keep thinking that if the curator hadn't prioritized me, maybe the diamond wouldn't have been stolen. You shouldn't feel guilty. It's natural the curator would be concerned for you, especially over some priceless rock. A rock that, as far as we know, is still around here somewhere, and I'll find it. I guess you're right. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Detective. Don't worry about it. Let's talk about something else, okay? Sure thing, Detective. Actually, let's not. Gosh, I got so much stuff. Alright, how do you... A victim of poor timing, the student was nervous about being stuck in the middle of this strange situation. Where's the guide? The museum doesn't employ more than 2 people to guard the guide. That's that. What would your... I don't know... The student sell off the precious gemstone to pay off his overwhelming debts. Oh, that's a good one. I am suspicious of the tourist for that. Finish one last job for the criminal organization. Where's the guide? Donate the precious jewel to a greater humanitarian cause. Interesting. That's a very interesting theory. One might call it a game theory. Are you is he distinguished or reserved? Huh. Alright, I'm not... Oh, the knowledgeable guide, jeez. He's up here. Museum staff. Yes. Okay. I wonder how much there is. Because if I look at the book, there's 6 tabs. And I'm on tab 1. I'm assuming that once I talk to everyone like this long stuff, it'll go a lot. Oh, you are distinguished. It'll go a lot faster. The Black reads Mostly Grey Kana by Georgia O'B. Something about this seems mildly inappropriate. That looks familiar. The plaque reads Man's Best Buddies by Keith Haring. Look at these 2 normal friends with no implications at all. Yeah, right. I need to have catnip for brains to think something that outrageous. That looks very familiar to me for some reason. The plaque reads Lake Contours Hakone. Wait, Hakone? By Hito Sheep. I hope to see the other 52 works by this artist someday. A bit strange they would be split up. They would be split up. A bit strange they would be split up the collection at all, honestly. It's either they would be split up, or a bit strange they would split up the collection. Get the B out of there. Can developers please start hiring me as a copy editor? Please. I will do it for minimal work. That looks familiar too. The plaque reads The Temptation of Saint Bernard by Salvador Colli. Border Collie? What was it about? Very tall elephants. That's an elephant? I know Salvador Dali. He's one that does the clocks, right? I think. I don't know. What was it about very tall elephants potentially stomping on him that was so tempting for Saint Bernard? Actually, I think I get it. What? What are you getting? Alright, there's you two. Go talk to you first. You're definitely distinguished. Critic. I say! Oh, God, I wish I could do accents. What matter of drab fashion is approaching me? I'm the detective sent to investigate this series of unfortunate events. Oh, boy. Oh, hide your children. Heavens! You should speak to your department about acquiring better uniforms. This is not a uniform, it's just one of my suits. Are you to imply that these are your actual clothes that you purchased with money? Willingly? I would appreciate if we could get to the questioning now, please. Ha! Oh, relax, I'm a bit of a critic, but I'll do my best to not get in your way. I'll likely take a few jabs at you, though. How could I not with those shoulder pads? Huh? What? But no, seriously, I'm on your side here. Don't worry about it. You know, let's just get started, shall we? If you must, don't let me stop you. Usually I charge for this sort of service. What? Who are you? I'm a collector. I'm a connoisseur. Some would call me a cultural innovator. But that title is just far too garish, even if it is entirely true. And this is what brought you to the museum today. There are wonderful pieces here that I would love to call my own, but no, I'm not making any purchases. My accountant wouldn't like that very much. Correct me if I'm wrong, but exhibits at a museum aren't usually for sale. Well, I mean, not legally. Ha! Spoken like a true member of the middle class. Everything is for sale when you have enough money. Am I to assume this applies to you too? I've written for the most prestigious organizations. These scales have rubbed against the best of them. You should consider yourself blessed I'm not more offended that you would even ask who I am. Then why don't I ask a different question instead? If you must, don't let me stop you. Do you have family? A traditional family, no, but I have someone close to me, if that's what you mean. Would you not consider them family? I would. But that partnership was founded in a different time, and unfortunately there are still many similarities between now and then. Besides, when you become larger than yourself and people believe you are only how they sculpted you, there's a lot to lose if you betray their perception. If I'm to interpret your meaning, isn't the artistic industry quite progressive? For an artist at his easel, yes. For a writer at her typewriter, yes. For a musician with their instrument, yes. But for any of them, with a need to live, to eat, to succeed, they must be ruled by money. And the people with money, money far above even my station, they do not understand the meaning of progress. So no, I suppose I don't have much family. Most of us can't afford to. I'm sorry to hear that. About the museum. Why did you decide to visit it today? Oh, the curator practically begged me to come and write about it in one of my columns. I visited before, many years ago, and the article I wrote back then was an unbelievable success. Although, considering the terrible fate before us, I don't know that anything I write will speak highly enough. You mean the murder-turned-museum heist? Is that it? Ha! No, detective! I'm thinking about the irrelevancy. And worse yet, the curator has resorted to committing a cardinal sin, the display of counterfeit art. It's just painful. What do you mean? That would be quite the accusation. They're duplicates. Simple as that. How else could one acquire such a diverse catalog? In fact, I've already noticed two. And, well, when there's two, there must be a third. That's just proper writing, detective. Right. Well, let's carry on, yes? Alright, about today's events. I'll give you this one for free, detective. What were you doing? As you do in a museum, I was taking my jolly good time looking over the many exhibits alongside the old-timer. When we made our way into the sculpture gallery, I decided to strike up a conversation with the guide. Of course, I can't resist an expert discussion. The old-timer has far less patience for that sort of gallivanting, so he took off upstairs. Perhaps I shouldn't have let him go off on his own. I don't know what it was that they argued about, but it must have struck a nerve. I think that's when our evening started to go south. Is that so? I've got more questions then. What happened? There isn't much for me to say on the topic, but I suppose it began with the old-timer's argument upstairs. It sounded like he was in the fine art gallery. I started moving that way, but when I was just about there, I heard a blunt slam. I had hoped that the argument didn't turn violent, but I was quickly losing faith in that theory. Before I knew it, there was that wretched bang. A gunshot with glass shattering not long after. I was concerned for the well-being of the old-timer, so I continued onward toward the balcony after him, but then the brawl had concluded. The old-timer was clearly worn out, he was breathing heavily, and had a couple scrapes, but he seemed okay. I shuffled him back into the fine art gallery and tried to ignore the rest of the cacophony below. It calmed down soon after, and now you're here. Yes, here I am. Why don't we continue that investigation, shall we? Alright, I think that's it. I'm starting to put together an idea, but definitely need to make sure that we talk to absolutely everybody. So we have the artist and the old-timer left. So the critic, add the priceless gemstone to his prestigious personal collection. Okay, I thought that's what his motive would be. Let's get the critic. So he would be this distinguished critic. Sculptor argued. What's up, my dude? Hello? Yes, hello. I'm the... Yeah, I know who you are. Fantastic. Let's get started. Well, I'm waiting on you. Get started. And I'll finally get to go home. Standing on these floors is killer for an old-timer like me. There's a bench just over there if you... I don't need a seat. You think I need some handout from you? Do you know who I am? I didn't mean to offend. Look, detective, get to the interrogation or whatever you have to do so I can get out of here. Fine, yes, a wonderful idea. Let's do just that. How much longer is this gonna take? Personal questions. Is this some kind of interview? Who are you? You really have to ask, huh? Tells me everything I need to know about you, detective. Well, in this case, I am the one who needs to know, so why don't you answer the question anyway? I'm a retiree of the art world, from back when folks respected the craft. I saw success beyond my wildest dreams. I was in galleries, exhibitions, auctions for rates higher than you or your kittens would see an entire lifetime. Point is, I was at the top, and I wasn't making my way for nobody. You had to be cutthroat back then. Don't even get me started on all this crowdfunding. Sir, I don't think... for what reason did you step down from such a high pedestal? Couldn't keep up? Is that what you want to hear? My hands started going first, and then, well, I quit while I was ahead. I see. Well, then let's change the topic. How much longer is this gonna take? What do you do? What kind of question is that? Are you one of them half-break gumshoes, detective? That's an offensive in my advanced age, I don't do much of anything. And with my advanced wealth, I don't have to. That's what it means to be retired, not that you would know. I might do some consulting from time to time or attend an event, but all that chase and tail, that's for the young pups. After everything I've given to the art world, I keep on giving. What do you think about that, huh? Good for you. You wouldn't get it, so maybe start asking some questions with answers you can actually use. I love him. What a fantastic idea. Let's do just that. About the museum. What about it? Despite a few amateur missteps, it's a respectable institution. And what would you consider a misstep? Don't get me started on how much modern garbage they have on display these days. I understand art can't be entirely without business, but there are lines you just don't cross. And betraying the greats by hanging their most prestigious pieces next to these finger painters, that's across the line. Did you ever have any of your pieces on display here in the museum? That That's a leading question, detective. Don't believe for a second I don't see what you're trying to do. If you must know, even at my peak note, the curator refused to exhibit any of my works. I had plenty of other exhibitions, and we've always been on good terms. I don't hold it against him. So, don't leave this conversation thinking I've got some sort of vendetta. That would be a ridiculous notion, wouldn't it? Maybe I should ask a different question instead. About today's events. Yeah, get on with it. What were you doing? Am I outspoken, detective? Are you answering my question with a question? The answer is no! I am resolute, firm in my opinions, because I know they are correct. I still have yet to see how this answer. There I was, with the critic. We were looking over the various pieces in the sculpture gallery. The critic wanted to discuss with the guys, so I let them be, made my way upstairs into fine art. That's when I saw all these disgraceful misuses of canvas, and the punk that followed soon after looking for a fight. He must have seen me wrinkle my nose at some painting. Well, he didn't know what tree he was barking up. And what tree was that? An old wizened fellow detective, one that weeps for the way things used to be. Intriguing, to say the least. I believe I have some more questions then. What happened? Of course I remember it like it was yesterday. Wasn't it like an hour ago? Because it was today! I got you, didn't I, detective? In fact, it was about an hour ago. How could I forget that? I'm old, but I ain't that old, eh? That punk wanted to yank my tail, but when I barked back, he must have got scared, pulled a gun on me. Always knew I had some bite left, and we got into a real scuffle. Took us out onto the courtyard balcony. He threw me into a wall. I swung back at him. He tried to take me out, but his aim was bad. Missed by a mile. Must have been new to him, too. The kickback gave me a chance to disarm him, and then he ran off. Wait, hold on a second. He's saying that the punk shot at him. And as far as I know, there was only one gunshot, right? But didn't they say that there were gunshots in the punk's head? I thought the punk got shot. I might have to double check that. So if I'm understanding this correctly, the punk shot at the old timer but missed, and that was the gunshot everyone heard. And then he ran off, and then someone threw him off the balcony. I think that's what I'm understanding. The critic came to check on me soon after. I told him I was fine, unscathed in fact. Then the alarm went off, but I didn't have anything to do with that. Well, I'm glad you're all right. Let's discuss something else. I like the old timer. He's cool. What would his motive be? Because I don't know why he would steal anything. Oh, undermine the museum's reputation and revenge for betraying the golden age of art. I get it. Okay, I understand. So we're just missing the artist. So the old timer, the reserved the bitter old timer. Bitter. Do I have stole yet? Actions. No. So earlier, the blank. So I'm assuming on the right-hand side, even though I have one person to talk, so the old timer fought, argued, maybe argued in the fine art exhibit. Fine art exhibit with the punk, who surprisingly had a gun. Okay, so would be argued? They blank in the blank, and eventually the blank from the blank. I think they argued first in and he argued with the punk, and then the punk was like, oh, I got a gun. It's either argued or they blank in the blank. They... That's an action. Which I don't think I have. They in the... Blank in the blank, and eventually the punk... I think it would be the punk fell. Because I do have that action. So he fell from the balcony. What was it though? Was it the antiquities balcony? Courtyard balcony? Which balcony was it? I have balcony. Thought I had balcony. Maybe not. Alright. This is fine. Is this fine art? That's the only place I haven't. Yeah, I've not been in. Oh, antiquities. The plaque reads, Nataraja, circa 900. I remember visiting some distant family when I was a kid. My father took me to a temple with a statue like this. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Know what that means? The plaque reads, Corinthian black spotted pottery. Instead of Corinthian, circa 600 BC. The Greeks truly had a way of life. Very smelly, I'm sure, but also very sophisticated. Yeah, there's a lot of vents, and I find that detail extremely sus. The plaque reads, Rabbits of the court in the garden. I don't know if I know that one or not. Circa 1700. It's like I can hear the cicadas buzzing all around me. And the clunking of that little bamboo fountain thing, too. Oh, hi. The plaque reads, Sarcophagus of oh my gosh, so Tutankhamun, circa 1325 BC. Despite being the youngest puppy pharaoh, he was still a big cat fan. Who could blame him? I mean, that's accurate. The plaque reads, Statue of a small Horus, circa 3000 BC. A classic depiction of my favorite avian god. Just very tiny. Alright, my dude, you're the last one left. Greetings. Hello, I'm the detective tending to this case. I'm aware of this. You're from the Feline Forensics. Yes, I am. Good, you're familiar. Do you mind? You may. Ask me a few questions, that is. First of all, how did you know about me? Was it the tie? I tried to go with something more neutral, professional, insightful even. Maybe it's my suit. The shoulders are very padded. Is it the suit? Too private eye? It was not the tie, detective. So, it was the suit. It was also not the suit. I'm just aware of you, generally speaking. Good marketing, perhaps. And besides, I simply prefer to be aware. An artist must observe the world. I hope that proves useful. Let's begin. Whatever it takes, detective. I will provide answers, detective. Alright, who are you? I regret to inform you, detective. Who I am is not important. I am unimportant. In the grand schemes of things, as it pertains to the situation around us, those details will not bring you closer to case closed. Then why don't you humor me? As if I were asking as a stranger, not the detective. I'm a washed-up failure of a creative amphibian. As soon as I had hands, my parents couldn't keep enough paper in the house. I'd hoard every marker and paint I could find. Clay was my best friend. My imagination was insatiable, so I didn't have time for anyone or anything else. That doesn't sound like a failure to me. Insatiable may beget experience, but it does not equate to talent. Is that a sufficient answer, detective? Indeed. I hope you don't mind answering some other questions for me. Whatever it takes, detective. What do you do? Since my art career became an artifact of the past, I've found myself in several professions. Nowadays, I work under a contract agency. They have me doing temporary work placements. Many placements are undesirable, unfortunately, but it pays the bills, and I can keep a fair bit of time to myself. Hello, cat. Thank you, cat. Do you still create art in that time? Yes. I don't believe I could ever truly give it up, but inspiration strikes less frequently. That's why I've decided to come to the museum today. And did you find something inspiring? I believe I have, but time will tell. The paint must dry, as they say. They do say that, don't they? On to the next question, then. About all that paint. Oh, is that the purple stuff on him? I'm sure you're aware, but why are you so covered in it? This is my favorite coat. Are you suggesting that just because I got some paint on it, that suddenly means it can no longer be a coat? It was a bit cold today. I needed to wear a coat. I am not warm-blooded, detective. Do you want me to be cold? I didn't say that, no. Besides, it makes the coat more unique. No one in the whole world has this coat but me. I could see the allure in something like that. Would you say you strive to stand out? I think most people do, myself included. And yet, I frequently feel invisible. It's as if people just don't see me, even if I'm standing right there. It makes one feel quite lonely, to say the least. Forgotten. My apologies. I believe I've strayed from your inquiry. Don't worry about it. Not at all. Shall we discuss another topic? About today's events. I remember them well. What were you doing? I hate to break it to you, but my prior behavior has little impact to the case. I was just wandering around the various exhibits, observing. Specifically, I was counting the bones of those hanging skeletons from the natural history exhibit's balcony. Then again, I did spend some time on the courtyard balcony as well, mesmerized by the pendulum's colorful sway. Considering my proximity to the fine art gallery, I overheard the argument as it began. I departed the upper floor. I've got that all written down now, so thank you. Allow me to ask another question. What happened? Certainly. I'll begin with the argument. I was nearby and didn't want to get involved. By the time I made it to the lower courtyard, I heard the gunshot. Naturally, I attempted to make my way out of the museum entirely, but the guard came hastily through the room and bumped into me. I eventually got through, made my way to the foyer. Unfortunately, the door was already locked down. I imagine it was the result of the alarm being tripped. The museum has a sophisticated security system, it seems. And there wasn't anyone else around? Initially, no. When the tourist arrived from behind me, I told them we were stuck. Even when the curator came back, they refused to open the door. The tourist passionately opposed their decision, but eventually stood down. We waited in our respective exhibits until you arrived. I feel like the tour... Yeah, it was... Yeah, the tour... I think the podcaster was the only one who had the opportunity to steal the diamond, though. Thank you for the detailed recount. Let's discuss something else. About the guard. When I collected his witness testimony, he neglected to mention anything about bumping into you in the courtyard. That does not surprise me, detective. Don't you remember what I said before? Even with all this paint, people just don't see me. You did say that, huh? I suppose you didn't quite grasp the severity of it. That's not uncommon either, I assure you. If you have any doubts about my honesty in this situation, I can present my perspective in greater detail. I don't think that'll be necessary. Your testimony is entirely plausible, especially considering the frantic nature of tonight's events. I think I'll move on to some other inquiries for now. Alright. I think I talked to everyone. Oh my gosh, there's a flipping map. Cool. I accidentally hit the escape button. I really like that, actually. Currently featuring this color. Okay, so it just tells me the different floors. I haven't been to the balcony above or either of the balconies, actually, so I should probably go take a look at that after I do this. What would his motive be? Artist motive: revolutionize art by turning a famous museum exhibit into a commentary of capitalism. But of course, obviously. Why wouldn't it be? Alright, so we talked to everyone. What on film? While collecting some initial statements, the tourist mentioned an accident with their camera, and the podcaster was also in the courtyard at the time. I don't want to jump to any conclusions, so I should get the podcaster side of the story too. Ideally, they'll align perfectly, but I have my doubts. When presented with the obvious concerns of camera use in the museum, the tourist denied doing so. Interesting. So we need to talk to the podcaster about that. Get me with the gun! Is it a bug? I legitimately have no idea what I'm supposed to do with this gun. Like the Like I can't click on anything. It's literally just inspect, and I've hit the inspect button on every... Keep trying to do something. I don't know what you want from me with this gun. And it clearly I'm supposed to do something because it wants me to... Yeah, it says inspection is not performed. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Okay, so we have the artist who... Oh, hey! We got the... Ah! Hey! I got that right! Cool. The reserved artist? Is that... Hey! Okay, so... I have all the words. Do we have the word stole? Objects, actions. Amidst the chaos, someone blanked the gemstone from the natural history exhibit. That's what I assumed. Or is it destroyed? No, someone... Hold on. Someone... destroyed the glass case? Okay, hold on. That might be it. It might be that they destroyed the glass case. Dang it. Okay. Someone... I forget what yellow means. Isn't that 1 or 2? Someone... shot the glass case? No, what? Oh, why? No. Oh, hold on. Oh, gotcha. The eccentric. Who's eccentric? Mother. Well, let me just... Okay. So that means, that tells me that natural history exhibit is correct. Someone blank the blank. Actions destroyed. I was gonna say stole the gemstone. But we don't... Hid? Maybe it's hid the gemstone? Might be hid. No. Someone... And it's not destroyed the glass case. Someone... shot the sculpture? Nope. The statue? You shot the statue? Dang it. Destroyed the statue? Dang it. What on earth would this be? I have to be missing some. Like, I literally have to. Because even this one, like, I'm pretty sure they fought. And then but I don't have fought. And then he fell from the balcony. But I don't have balcony either. I feel like it comes down to this gosh darn gun. Which I'm sorry? You guys have watched me look at this thing 800 times. Also, hold on, we're all gonna stop. Everyone, stop what you're doing. Look at the screen right now. I have a sprinkle. Everyone, alert. I have a sprinkle. The most perfect of kittens in the entire world. Oh my god, oh no, I took the camera away and she licked my finger. Oh. Okay, well, I'm not happy by this. Oh, of course! I knew there was something else here. Thankfully, it's not still loaded. It won't be doing any more harm anytime soon. Although, I can't gather much from this. I'm not a weapons expert. What are the chances someone here would be able to tell me more? Okay. Alright, listen. We're gonna go talk to the podcast person about the camera, right? And then we can go talk to the guard about... Alright. Additional details! Only if you subscribe! Ha! Just kidding. About the camera. You mean the tourist camera? Aw, that thing was like so nice. I wish I could afford one, but they're so vogue right now. Yes, that one. You mentioned looking over it. Did you notice if it had any film? Oh, it must have! Didn't I tell you what happened when I dropped it before? Neither of you mentioned dropping the camera, no. Whoops, silly me. Well, you remember the gunshot, right? Blammo and all that. That didn't bother me at all, I guess. But then, with the glass shattering, the alarm went off. That's what got me. The noise made me jump and whoop! That's when the camera just dropped right out of my little hands. When it hit the floor, there was a big flash, so it probably took some sort of photo. Of course, I got it back to him all in one piece, and before he even noticed, everything afterward went pretty much the same as I told you before. That's certainly an interesting wrinkle. I may have a few other inquiries to make before I continue investigating this. Like whatever you need, detective. Huh. That's a little bit, sus. That's a little bit okay, so that's the caught on film. So each of these, I'm still putting, oh no. Sprinkle saw the little, oh wait, hold on, I would do this again. Okay. Sprinkle sees the laser. She went up here. See her? Look at her. Because it's a laser. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. She's just watching it. Oh, you gonna get it? Mighty Hunter Sprinkle? Plot twist. Sprinkle did it. She pushed the punk over the railing because there was a red laser dot on his chest, and she bounced. Why is she the cutest kid in the entire world? Oh, she's getting closer. Oh, she's getting closer. She gotta get it. She gotta get it. I love how her head is just spinning in circles. Okay, all right, come on, Sprinkle. I haven't put the fish up. He may. I'll go on YouTube and I'll get the, oh, okay, you can sit here if you want to, but it's gone. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to tell you that it's gone. Okay, so I can get more words. Because we got floor. Yay. Alright. Making all these things go away. So there's inconsistencies here that we need to investigate. I need to play. Alright, oh, here we go. However, the gunshot was heard. He stormed off into and through the courtyard towards the shocking sound. He did not. So this one is testimony because he did not. So this was the podcaster. Ah, I see. That makes sense because the guard and the podcaster did not arrive at the same time, according to the podcaster. Now, the podcaster could be a big lying scumbag. I could give him the benefit of the doubt, but by the podcaster's account, this just doesn't line up. I can't think of an obvious reason he would lie, but it would be best if I asked him directly. Alright, and then we have, hi, hello, little Sprinkle. Hello, cutest Sprinkle in the entire world. I thought you were being my perfect lap kitty. And then there was another one, when the gunshot was heard, he stormed off into and through the courtyard. I don't remember. Was that also the podcaster? No, I don't think that's right. I don't think he's intentionally hiding anything. Anyone else fill in for his poor memory? see, this is the problem with me and these detective stories. I don't remember who said what. And so, like, it's like, no. So, someone said something, but I, honest to God, don't remember who. Who's on the... I'm just gonna go through them. I see, that makes sense. Oh, the guard ran into the artist. That's right. The guard didn't move straight through the courtyard. He bumped into the artist on the way. My hair is now being attacked. Do you see my hair moving? It is now a kitten toy. While that might seem minor, the most minor details can turn an entire case upside down. So those are all inconsistencies. Yeah, tripping over the artist on the way. Sounds like things like, brain work. Ace Attorney. I played for about 10 minutes, and I sucked at it. Because I couldn't get anywhere, because I couldn't remember what had happened. I was like, fudge. I actually had a plan to play the entire Ace Attorney series for the channel at some point in time. Hey, detective, what can I do for you? Let's start with a few questions. All right, so about today's events. Oh, about the artist. Do you recall having an encounter with him earlier? Perhaps in the courtyard? That's a tough one, eh? The tourist was there, the podcaster. Oh, you know what? The artist was in the courtyard. Come to think of it, when I was barreling through to get to the brawl upstairs, I nearly tripped over my own two paws. Or so I thought, but now that you mention it, yeah, it must have been him that I was stumbling over. Such a silly thing for me to forget, ain't it? You're kind of being a little sus, my dude. So sorry, detective. I guess my memory was a bit hazy after the whole debacle got out of control. Apology accepted and understandable. As you know, it's not terribly uncommon. Eyewitness accounts are unbelievably unreliable. Alright, and then we have the podcaster. You saw her in the natural history exhibit. Did you suspect that she could have stolen it then? Initially I did, yes, but she was quick to explain herself and it all made sense to me. She told me she had come from the courtyard just a moment prior in response to the sound of breaking glass and a loud thud. That would have been the gemstone being stolen and the victim falling from above. Considering the timeline, there wasn't much she could have gotten up to. I hate to break it to you, but she did have a few moments before you arrived. Not enough to steal the jewel, of course, but she did steal the victim's belongings. So, like, she had way more time. Why would you assume that she that she didn't have time to steal the jewel? She ruffled through and stole all of his belongings. Smash grab. The end. Oh, no! You don't say. Aw, man, I knew I should have been more strict with her. I was just so concerned with calling the police and getting things under control. Well, your motives were understandable. This could have been avoided with a bit more diligence. I'm being aggressively licked right now. Holy crud. Yeah, sounds familiar, detective. I'm sorry about that. And thankful you're setting things right. Got it. Oh, don't eat hair, little kitten. Thank you. I'm working on it, at least. Let's run through a few more questions, shall we? Yeah, you have the most inconsistencies. About the guide. You mentioned in your testimony that you discovered her in the Antiquities exhibit stunned from the sound of the gunshot. As much as you know about her condition, do you think it's possible she could have been unaware of your presence in that moment? Oh, I didn't really consider that, but I bet you're right. I can't reiterate enough how much I really did try to help, but the curators always had a lighter touch, so calling for them was the best call I could make. I agree. I don't think you did anything wrong. I just needed to corroborate the two stories. So thank you for that, but I've got some more questions. Absolutely. I'm an open book. All right. About the weapon. I've recovered it from one of the courtyard fountains, but as well as two pieces of a fired bullet. I'm not sure what more to make of them, though. Well, for starters, this bullet most certainly belongs to that gun, in case that was ever a question. And while I didn't have a clear view from the first floor, I'm fairly certain it was the punk that had their hands on the grip. Wait, did you say you found the gun in one of the fountains? I did, yes. It's my current operating theory that the old-timer got some sort of advantage against the punk and forced it from his grasp. Makes sense to me, but is it a bit far-fetched the old-timer would have the wherewithal to drop it so precisely? What if they were both disoriented enough that neither of them could really keep a hold of it? That explained the precarious stanction in the courtyard too, eh? Actually, you're right. That does sound more likely. Nah, I don't think I have anything else to say. Honestly, I'm just trying to collect words here. Ah, detective. The investigation is going well. Of course. I have several, let's see, about today's events. Go on, then. Before. Yes. Oh my gosh. About the suspects. I've met them all and started to establish profiles on each. There's someone at the heart of this, and I'll find out who. Yes, congratulations, detective. I have the utmost faith in your sleuthing skills, so please continue to work diligently. It's getting late, don't you think? Injustice doesn't sleep, I'm afraid. It takes time to shine the light on truth. Fine, do what you must. Take as much time as you need, but remember, the very fate of this museum hinges on your ability to resolve this efficiently. I think you mean effectively, curator. Either way, we should move on to another topic. Alright, we got a bunch to ask. Oh. Jeez. About the camera. What camera? I was discussing tonight's events with the tourist, and the topic of his camera arose. Did you not notice he had it on him when he arrived? I absolutely did not! I'm sure you understand, detective, that recording of any kind within the museum is strictly against policy. I would guess come visit if they can observe a rudimentary simile someplace else. I had a hunch that's what you would say, but it might reveal some important evidence, so I'm going to entertain the prospect for now. Fine, I suppose it is a minor concern at the moment. I agree. Let's discuss more important concerns then. Alright, about admission. Specifically, that paid by the victim earlier tonight. He was charged for 2 entrants. Was he accompanied by anyone? No, he wasn't. That's when I started to suspect he was up to no good. And I was correct, of course. Then why would he be paid for 2? I hope this wasn't malicious on your part. It was no mistake. When I told him there was a charge for admittance, he said he would pay for himself and whoever comes in next. That's all. Just to clarify, he didn't know there was a cost to enter, but he was willing to pay for 2? I didn't think much of it, detective. It seemed to surprise him, so perhaps he didn't want that to happen to someone else. Did it betray my initial impressions of his character? Sure. But he confirmed them soon after with all this mess he caused. It does seem that way, but we can never be so sure. By chance, do you remember who came in next? That nervous one with the backpack. I tried to explain the situation to him, but with all that stammering, I don't think he heard any of it. Intriguing. How do we move on for now? About the critic. He said you had requested an article be written. Could you tell me more about that? Detective, I'm afraid I have no idea what you're talking about. Is that so? He said this wasn't the first time. In fact, he said the first one did quite well. I'm sure he did. Why don't you ask the old-timer about that? See if his memory is held up enough to recall that catastrophe. My apologies if this struck a nerve, but for now, I have other topics we should get to. Alright, about the guide. You described her as stunned until eventually your efforts to rouse her were successful, and she told you to call the authorities. But she described the situation differently, that you failed to calm her and left her there, unmoving in order to call the police. She said that, did she? If you recall, I also described her as selfless, and to a fault. I'll have you know, she's like a daughter to me. I find that a little bit suspicious, that you gave me that word. I regret to say that she lied to you, detective, to save my feathers. For a curator to not prioritize the safety of their guests, or even their exhibits. I believe she intended to maintain my proper image. I am all out of tea. Sadness. A noble act, and certainly loyal. But it was still a lie. I'll have to reconvene on that, but for now, we have other matters to discuss. Additional details. About the alarm. Yeah, that's a whole main thing. It's state-of-the-art, awarded on a grant several years ago. It runs through every wall, door, and exhibit. A bit Orwellian, but I do what I must. It took a long time to amass such a wondrous collection, so I'd like to keep it. I don't see any cameras, though. How does it work? That's the beauty of it. It's entirely invisible. Reading paw prints on the surface of display stands, glass cases, and frames. And it recognizes registered users, so if I were to rearrange the exhibits, I wouldn't have to worry about disabling the entire system. Of course, the rest of my staff is also registered. Conservators, appraisers, or technicians get temporarily registered as needed too. The guard mentioned a discretionary response system. Do you know anything about that? Vaguely. For instance, putting the doors on lockdown is an early stage response, whereas that atrocious sound is much later. I know that much. I see. If someone stole, that's the word I needed, an exhibit, a noisy alarm would alert everyone, warning the thief that their cover was blown. Of course, if the thief broke into an exhibit to steal it, well, they've already relinquished the advantage of discretion. In that case, the alarm siren acts more like a warning system to other guests. I'm starting to see this intelligence you mentioned. Yes, well, I hope it makes closing this case easier for you. Easier and quicker. Easier, perhaps. Quicker? Not so sure. I think it's time to retrace my steps towards that broken display again. Before I do, though, I don't think I have any more questions for you. I'm trying to get the... Oh! Hey, cool, we got that. I'm trying to figure out the sequence of events, to be honest with you. Oh, nope, wrong button. Oh, yeah, you got a couple of reds. Oh, you got a couple of reds. Amidst a struggle, the punk fired the gun, but missed his target. The old-timer then disarmed him with ease. But the gun... so... Was that the... I don't think... Evidence? Is the gun? No, I don't think that's right. Okay, so it would be the testimony of the guard. I would assume. Ah, I see. That makes sense. I can confirm now that the gun was fired only as an accident result of the brawl. When it went off, both men were so disoriented that neither could keep hold of the weapon or pursued the fight much further. So, how did the gun end up... Because there was only one gun? Was the guy shot? Hold on. The punk. Physical... I really thought that the punk had been shot twice. Okay, this guy said he paid admission, but we have the testimony of, well, the testimony of the curator. No, I don't, what? Wait, no, but, yeah, that is right. Is the evidence the receipt? Ah, I see, that makes sense. Could it be that the student just stumbled into a bit of luck? But why lie about that? Maybe through all the excitement he misremembered. It could be that easy, right? I don't know. That's a little sus. Big sus. So what else is not right? The guide. The curator discovered the guide in the son's state, so we have the testimony of the curator, who said he did not do that. What? Or was it the... Sorry. Was it the guard that said that? I'm like trying to remember who said... I see! Makes sense. Considering her condition at the time, there's no way she would have known the guard tried to help her. As far as I can tell, this was just an honest mistake, but worth keeping the record straight nonetheless. And then, unsuccessful in doing so, the curator left the guide, prioritizing the museum. Curator left the guide. But the curator said he did not do that. I see, that makes sense. While the curator did leave to call the authorities, it wasn't before successfully rousing the guide from her stun. Was she intentionally trying to throw me, or was she just trying to maintain the curator's reputation? We have evidence. Oh, okay, so this just kind of... As far as I can tell, the victim brought the gun to the scene and brandished it during an argument with the old-timer as an intimidation technique. Although he did not intend to fire it, it was accidentally misfired in the following struggle and then dropped. Okay, so it's just more information on that. Do I have enough? I need stole. I do have stole. I have stole. Someone stole the gemstone. Object. Yeah, boy. Okay, they fought. But I don't have fought. They fought in the exhibit? In the blank. I'm assuming it's in the exhibit. Or in the courtyard? No. I think it's just exhibit. They fought in the exhibit. Fell from the blank. It's balcony, and I don't have balcony. In the blank balcony. You mean from the fine art? Is that where he fell? From the fine art balcony. Alright, well I still need a couple more words. Gotta talk to a couple more people being sus. Hey, you liar! I'm innocent, I swear. Every time you say that, I get a little less confident you're telling the truth. Let's get to the question. Oh, even though he lied to me, I don't have anything new to say to you. I guess not. Oh, that little cloud means I do have something. Alright, today's events. About the critic. You said they were asking you some personal questions, but he described it as only a debate between experts. Well, I did say questions, but they were more like challenges. Did it feel like perhaps he had an ulterior motive? You mentioned the possibility it could have been a distraction. I don't think he really had a goal. He was just being curmudgeonly old man. That sounds rude, but true. And that isn't anything new, so I guess I didn't think too much of it. Not until, well, you know the rest by now. I do, yes. Thanks for clarifying that. Maybe we should clear up a few other things first. About the guard. I don't believe you were aware in the moment, but I figured I should tell you. He did try to help you while you were in that stunned state. Unfortunately, he didn't know how to help you, but he called for the curator to come and take care of you. He wished he could have done more, he said. Oh, the guard has always been the nicest. If you get the chance, tell him I appreciate it. I'll bring him extra croissant tomorrow. Ooh, I'm sure he'll enjoy that. I've got some more details to go over if you wouldn't mind. About the curator. According to your testimony, they helped you up to a point and then prioritized calling the police. Unfortunately, they didn't collaborate that. Are you giving me a chance to revise my statement, detective? Okay. Yeah. The curator would never have prioritized the museum over us, at least not as far as I've ever known. They did help me recover more than I let on before, and it was my idea to call the authorities. The curator theorized that you were attempting to protect their reputation. Oh, wrong person. Is that the case? I suppose it was. I know they come across as a bit prickly, detective, but they do mean well. And they do whatever it takes to support us. I just wish there was a way we could do the same for them. That does seem to be a bit of a trend, but there are other topics we should also get to. I actually don't think so. Go talk to the old man. Can I get to balconies? Let's see. Oh, I have something to say. You have yet to acquire new attire. I do not approve. Apologies, but that's not what I'm here to discuss. Alright, about the old timer. I've taken down both of your testimonies, but there's a specific detail that doesn't line up. The old-timer claimed he came away from the brawl entirely unscathed, but that's not accurate to your remarks. Why? Huh, this might be the easiest explanation you received today, detective. Are you familiar with fragile masculinity? We've known each other for a long, long time, and when I say he's improved, I mean it, but there are things that still get under his fur. Whether this helps or hinders your perception of his motives, I doubt he even second-guessed a lie like that. You speak as if you know him quite well. Intimately, some would say. Understood. I think I have some other inquiries. I don't think I have any other inquiries. Is that the person who he considers family? Maybe. Skip the pleasantries. Detective, I don't have all day. I'm sure you don't. Let's get started. Additional details. This ain't making me any younger, detective. About this article. Do you know if the curator requested the critic come write it today? Okay, that's correct, but weird. No, absolutely not. I'm sure they wouldn't ever ask the critic to do that again. Interesting little tidbit right there. Good on you, old man. The curator alluded to a previous article. What happened with that? I'll keep the story short, since it isn't mine to tell, but between you and I, it wasn't pretty. It was harsh, but perfectly fair. I've heard murmurs it put the museum in a rough spot, but that wasn't our concern. Despite tonight's commotion, the museum seems fine to me. Let's move on for now. How much longer is this gonna take? Interesting. What was the article about? I want to know. Oh! Oh, there's blood all over. Another shocking aspect to the case unfolding in front of us. This is where the blood trail begins, considering the impact on the wall. If this is where the two get fought, thank you, that impact is a likely result. And with enough force, that would explain the crooked painting. Whatever happened, it's clear the conflict continued onward, but I'll have to keep investigating to learn more. The plaque reads, The Hatching of Venus by Sandro Bocelli? The legend says she was born from a giant scallop shell, but for avian folk, I suppose that's not terribly far off from the typical egg. The plaque reads The Tower of Bleedle by Peter Brugote. Mother Goose may have struck the tower as it reached the sky, and yet upon our earthly wings we fly. Oh my gosh, it's a Tower of Babel. The plaque reads Composition 7 by Vasily Kangarinsky. He's the only artist that can perfectly capture the mystique of a grand piano falling from the window and onto the sidewalk. Oh, is that what that is? The plaque reads Le Lapin by Edward Degas. Wow, they can really dance. I love ballet. I love ballet. I absolutely love ballet. Hey, I know that picture. The plaque reads American Dairy by Grant Woodpecker. As a city-dwelling feline, I never fancied the life of a barn cat, and considering the expression on their faces, I'm not missing much. That's funny. Oh, what? The plaque reads Portrait of Adele Blackbear by Gustav Klimt. Oh gosh, this one kind of hurts my eyes. Wait, can I can revolve? I didn't know I could do that, guys. I didn't even know. Hey, I know this one too. The plaque reads The Creation of Fido by Michael Flamingelo. Considering the artist could fly, the chapel paintings he did are a bit less impressive. That is horrific. Isn't it? Oh god, no, I know her name. Oh my gosh, I know exactly who she is, and it's just not coming to me. Oh, fudge. Nope. Oh god, I'm going through all this stuff. No, she's Happy Birthday President. She sang Drunk. Oh god, the very famous, the wind blowing up her dress, that picture. Her name is not coming to me, and I'm disappointed in myself. The plaque reads, Marilyn Monroe. God almighty, thank you for that. Marilinks Diptych by Andy Warthog. Isn't it Warhol, I believe? My mom was always such a fan of Marilinks. On special occasions, she would even get spots painted into her fur. Thank you, game, for helping me. The plaque reads Wolf Above the Sea of Fog by Caspar Darwin Frogrich. Such a mysterious figure. What is he contemplating? What tortures his melodramatic soul? I long to know. Oh man, now I gotta go to... Oh, it's the Mona Lisa. I gotta go look at all the other stuff, too. The plaque reads The Mare Lisa by Leonardo da Viper. I don't want a promise. I want Arsene Lupus here as a prisoner with handcuffs on him in a week. I love that old movie. One of the few our feline family had, and I loved every minute of it. I have no idea what he's talking about. The plaque reads Two Deers Within Me by Frida Kahlo. I never knew deer folk could do something like this, anatomically. Oh no, wait, it's symbolic. That's on me. What? Okay, so we now have fought. actions. Because they fought. They fought in the exhibit, and eventually Punk fell, so I don't have balcony. And that I do need. Because it's not courtyard. The fine art, no. Because it's like the courtyard balcony. Because what is this place called? I'm gonna go over here. Oh. Oh my gosh, there's stuff everywhere. Holy crud. The plaque reads, would you like to take control of your past? Or change the channel of your future? Control the past or change the future. I like that. What would I do? I don't want to change my past, because if I change my past, I wouldn't be where I am today. And stuff that I'm like, man, I wish I would have done something differently. If I hadn't done things, I wouldn't be here right now. And I have the world's most adorable kitten in my lap, and I get to foster kittens and play video games. So I would probably want to change the future to make myself a multi-bajillionaire so I can buy a second house for all my cats. Oh, it just shuffles the screen on the television exhibits around. They almost had me there. Is it? Oh, it is literally a... Oh my god, yeah, there's more exhibits on the other... Son of a biscuit. Hey, the bean! That's in Chicago. The plaque reads, The Legume by Anish Kapoodle. The shape is so intriguing, and its surface so reflective. Wait, is that something in my teeth? Why didn't anyone tell me? Wait, is dead. Who's dead? True art is dead. Okay, then. The plaque reads Society by Anonymous. True art is dead seems like a overly cryptic message, and simultaneously too on the nose. Dude. The plaque reads Fairy of the Wall by Anthony Goatley. I could have sworn I've seen photos of this one before, and it seemed much larger. So you can't get down from these balcony places. I find that one a little bit interesting as well. So you're either up here or you're not. So this is the courtyard exhibit. So he didn't fall from the courtyard exhibit. He fell from here, the natural history. This is clearly important to our case, so what should I investigate? The exhibit placard. The plaque reads miniature Maui statue. Maui statue. Is it Maui? Circa 1300. Oh, that's the one that got shot. Another victim in this odd culmination of crimes, unfortunately. The crime scene. The blood trail leads here and over the edge of the balcony. It's dashed across the exhibit podium as well. The podium looks like it's been pushed askew as well, and the art piece is missing. Stanchions are unlatched. Stanchions? What that is? Presumably by force, considering the perilous angle. The victim is visible lying on the floor below. They were likely disoriented and stumbled backwards to their demise. That's all there is to find here, for now at least. I got balcony! Let me read all this stuff. The plaque reads, Ammonoid fossil discovered in Northern Europe. Ah, yes, the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, logarithmic spiral, Lord Helix, a universal constant immortalized in stone. Oh yeah, nature is unbelievably math. Plaque reads, Pteranodon skeleton of the Cretaceous period. You're trying to tell me this isn't a pterodactyl? What next? That they had feathers? Ridiculous. But of course not. Pterodon? Is it pterodon? Maybe. This air duct has been witness to some pivotal moments of the evening. Huh. Okay, that's sus. Why can I talk about, like, do something with that air duct, but not the other ones? The plaque reads our solar system for illustrative purposes only, not to scale. If this really was built to scale, Jupiter would probably be on the other side of town. Way past my office, I bet. Wait, yeah, definitely. Definitely. That is kind of terrifying. The plaque reads Tauros figurine discovered in Northern Europe and Asia. Am I blushing? I feel like I'm blushing. Oh, C is circled, which means we do have enough for that. All right, but first, hold on. What? All right, something was added, but I don't know what. So we now have enough to finish that page because we got balcony. Balcony. Okay, so he didn't fall from the fine. No, he didn't fall from the fine art. He did the natural history balcony. They fought in the what? Where did they fight? They fought in the courtyard? Yes! Aha! I knew I was onto something. I've got the basic details of this case all sorted out and met every suspect. Now it's time to really get to work. Dude, how long is this game? What do you mean really get to work? I was told this was like the almighty Google told me that this was a 1 to 2 hour game. Okay, as they blank the blank into a blank, causing the blank to be blank. When it blanked the blank below, and then blank the blank. Soon after the blank, the blank from the blank and into a blank. The blank looked on as the blank accidentally blank his blank, which took a blank when it... Wait, this is the camera. Oh, this is the camera. Hold on. So that one is the tourist looked on as the podcaster accidentally dropped his camera. Wait, why don't I not have camera? Do I have to? I know that I need to go talk to that person. Okay, I might not have camera, but they dropped his camera, which took a picture. Which took a... I might not have picture either. Fudge! When it hit... When it fell... No, when it would be dropped on the floor. So when it hit the floor... I know it's floor. The blank then blankets blank. What? By this time, the blank had blank into the blank, but the blank was already blank, so he blank in the blank. What? What? Oh, God. Okay, what? I understand the camera part of this show, but all right, let's go talk to the camera guy because that's all. What? Okay, hold on. Let's turn. Oh, there's more pictures, guys. I know this one. Black reads a Sunday afternoon on the island of La Velujaet by George Shibat. You just don't see this level of decorum these days. Not since. Not since what? The Black reads The Water Lily Pond by Claude Monet. Ha 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 ha. Reminds me of my days as a kitten when love was in the air. Oh, how I miss you. The Black reads Head of a Sheep by Pablo Picassowari? I don't know what that means. The dichotomy of Ram and you inside us all. It's exquisite. Yeah, the fact that I can only interact with that one vent is super sus. Like, super sus. Alright. There's more stuff! Oh, why are you asking me to investigate that? I will. The Black reads Collection of Pinned Butterflies, originally researched in North America. I much prefer my butterflies unpinned and flying. And alive! Black reads Collection of Pinned Beetles, originally researched in Eastern Asia. I'd rather not look at this too long. Alright, is there something else I need to look at here? The broken case. I have more information about the museum's security system now, so I probably should take a second pass at this. I've been assuming the thief used the statue to break open the case because witnesses believe that's what triggered the alarm. There's no denying they heard glass shatter and the alarm blaring, but that doesn't mean it was intentional. That's what I was thinking. I think that the guy actually just fell on the case. Because the statue with the bullet is down here. So if the guy fell off, or if he was shot from above, right? So he's standing on the balcony, but there was only one gunshot. That's what I don't understand. Everyone describes one bang. So how did it get into the statue? That's what I don't understand. Because it really seemed to me that he was pushed from the balcony into the case and just happened to land in the case. And honestly, someone was like, oh, opportunity, yoink. When the statue was shot and fell, if it landed into the display case below, right? Because the statue was up there. If it landed into the display below, the gemstone would have been right for the taking. Unless it was already gone. Huh? According to the curator's knowledge on the security system, that leaves us with two possibilities. One, that is not a semicolon, it should be just a regular colon. The thief opened the case, which locked the museum doors, and the alarm went off later. Or two, the thief was a registered user with the system, and the doors wouldn't have been locked until the case was accidentally broken later. Unfortunately, there's no way to know which is true right now. Maybe the guard will have further insight on my theory. Interesting. Alright, but I want to learn about this camera. I understand that I basically kind of have the knowledge of everybody. Alright, and there's nothing over here either. And I have a lot of words. So it's setting up the timeline, which we kind of know. Private Eye, he's watching you! Yes, right. Let's get to the topic at hand. About today's events. About the fight. You mentioned that you had a pretty clear view, as much as you could from the lower level. Could you tell me more about how that went? You betcha! But I'll tell you now, I don't know why they were fighting. Whatever it was, must have been mighty serious. So, he came out onto the balcony swinging, and I didn't think he would have had it in him, but that old-timer would not let up. I get where he was coming from, of course, because the punk had that gun and all, so he probably was thinking there wasn't any room to let up. He must have got a step ahead, struck him once, and got a good shove in, landed the punk with his back flat against the wall. Oh, hi, Drizzy. Yeah. Considering they both got their hands on the gun and it went off shortly after, it wasn't a sight I would soon forget. An interesting contradiction, it seems. I hope you don't mind, but I have a couple more questions I could address before I leave. Radio, don't hold back. The fact that there's not a circle around the story means I don't have all the words yet. Let's dance. About your camera. We've been over that already, haven't we, detective? There ain't much more to say. Well, there's one particular detail I think we should go over again. You weren't using the camera at all tonight, correct? Of course, the curator would have had my head if I was. There ain't even any film in here. And how come, according to the podcaster, the camera's flash went off when she dropped it? You should take a beginner's photography course. Just because a flash goes off doesn't mean it actually took a photo, detective. But if you're so confident in your theory, how about you check it out yourself? You can take my camera as evidence, as long as I get it back. It's empty, you'll see, but full of sentimental value. I'll make a note to return it once the case is closed. Unless, of course, I discover something incriminating. That should tell you just how much I trust you to do the right thing, detective. Here you go. I appreciate your cooperation. Now, if I get your input, nope, I got nothing. But we do have some more evidence. My throat is starting to hurt. Right, I'm assuming the back of the, camera, but how do you, okay, now I know that I have to be literally the exact right angle. How do you take the, oh, there it is, I don't know how you take that camera. I mean, he could have taken the film out. Oh, of course. I knew there was something else here. Or rather, there isn't something here. Sometimes that can be just as important. If I had to bet, this is probably another case of someone's sticky paws. Very sus. Very sus. But we do have the word for camera. Which... oh, accidentally dropped his camera. which took a camera, which actually dropped his actions. There's drop. Which took a blank when it, I feel like it's when it hit the floor. So it took a picture when it hit the floor. But because there's no thing, let's see, any inconsistencies that I need to, oh gosh, there's a lot of inconsistencies. All right, well, first I'm going over here. No, I should actually take it first. All right, yeah, I thought I needed to talk to you. All right, let's take care of the inconsistencies so we can talk to him. Podcaster. After it clattered to the ground, she recovered the camera and returned it. Thankfully, it was completely intact. Oh! So maybe she has the picture. I see, that makes sense. Yes, she returned the camera, but not without a case of sticky paws. In an attempt to get more promotional material for her podcast, she swiped the film while the tourist was distracted. Got it. Alright. Alright, the fight continued to escalate, leading the punk to slam the old-timer into the wall, but he didn't let up. So, would this be the tourist? I see, that makes sense. The old-timer didn't shove the punk into the wall. He was the one doing the shoving. For having such pride, it's hard to believe he would willingly make himself seem weak. Wonder what he has to say about that. And then there's another one. With the punk presumably subdued, the old-timer retreated back into the fine art gallery, where he assured the critic he was perfectly unharmed. I don't... Was that also the tourist? No. Is the... No, nothing here. I don't know who's... No. Who talked about the old-timer? Was it the critic himself? It's no surprise that the old-timer would want to keep up his manly image. Oh, that's right. But as we can tell from what the critic told us, even the old-timer was a little shaken following his bout with the punk. Is there any more? Oh, the critic has quite a few. Arrived at the museum intending to write and publish a critique at the request of the... Okay, so the old-timer said no. I see. He might have been hoping to write an article about the museum, but that's 2 testimonies against his claim. But why lie about that at all? Perhaps I should pay him another visit and ask. And then he's got this. Began discussing the various pieces in the sculpture exhibit with the guide. Was this literally the guide? Yeah. This may not have been necessarily been a lie, but it certainly speaks to the critic's sensibilities. At least his testimony seems to line up otherwise. Okay, so we have a few more people we can talk to. Alright, I need to move, cat. My leg hurts. Let me just adjust a little bit. Sorry, kitten. There we go. Hardly disturbed. Hey, detective! What can I do for you? Let's start with a few questions if you wouldn't mind. Alright, about the alarm. I looked back over the crime scene with special attention to the pedestal of the stolen gemstone. I have a theory I'd like to run by you. Oh? Lay it on me! I believe that when the display case was broken, the gemstone was already missing. From everything you know about the security system, would that be possible? I suppose it could be, detective. That'd be quite the twist. The issue I'm having with my theory is how to actually prove it. Without more clearly defined timing, it's impossible to know for sure. Well, the security system has an interface you could access in our maintenance room, but I can't provide that kind of clearance. That's something you'd have to get from the curator's approval for, since it's private business and all that. Ugh, I was hoping it wouldn't come to that, but if that's what it takes, I'll give it a shot. Until then, I think I might have a few... Nope, I have nothing to discuss with you. Hey, let me in the maintenance room. Did I already look? Oh, paintings! The plaque reads, Nighthawks by Edward Hopper. What I would give to sit alone at the dustiest bar in town, just staring at a half-empty glass of the finest aged milk. The plaque reads, water off the back of the duck's neck. What? By Jean-Michel Basquiat. An excellent and harrowing representation of the web-footed condition. What? Ah, detective! I trust the investigation is going well. Of course, I have several things to discuss. Alright, additional details. About the back room. Can we go to the back rooms now? This is gonna be a very different video game. The guard mentioned it while we were discussing the security system. I believe access could help crack this case if you'd allow it. Preposterous! Everything that happened tonight took place within the public space. No one had access to the maintenance room tonight. Nice, sure, but what if all of this was set in motion prior? What would you say then? As far as I know, and you can prove, that punk came in to drum up trouble, and some other opportunists saw fit to seize their chance. So, what would I say to that, you ask? I would still say no! I hope you understand that if I find another means of access, I will have to defy your wishes. And if I find something important there, you could be held liable for obstruction. And so be it. Now move along. I will, of course. I got nothing else to discuss with you. I want that picture. Very sus. Very sus. Very sus indeed. Sorry, I'm just stepping on your body. Hey there, detective! Alright, we got some questions. Alright, about the camera. How familiar are you really with the process of film photography? Not too much, but you can learn anything on YouTube nowadays. Oh, you think it'd uber boost my followers if I did? Is that why you were so interested in the tourist camera? Well, I've got it right here, but with some bad news. It's empty after all. No film to be found. But he told you it was empty, right? You said that, right? So no surprises there. Of course. After all, photography isn't usually allowed in places like this. Ah, duh! You're super right. What a shame! Cold trail. Anyways, totally moving on. No, humor me for a moment. Let's say he did have film in it and was taking photos he shouldn't have been. Someone taking it off his guilty conscience would be quite fortuitous, wouldn't you say? Fine! I have it! You can take the film! You're killing me, detective. Just know I only took it to make some promotional material for my podcast. You gotta always be on that grind, and it would have been perfect! I would say I understand, but the bottom line is, I have a case that needs solving. So, we should move on to some other inquiries, and then I'll go continue with that investigation. Like, whatever you need, detective. I got nothing for you, actually. Oh, I got film. That's what I got. Do we need to develop it? Now to find a way to actually develop it and see what secrets are to be revealed. Alright. During the chaotic events that unfolded earlier, this film was used to take an accidental photo when its camera was dropped by the podcaster. Seeing an opportunity to acquire big clickbait potential, she swiped the film. But I convinced her that submitting the film to evidence is more important. So I don't think we have anything from the... Oh, actually, hold on. We have other stuff. Black reads Terracotta Tiger, circa 210 BC. This is just one warrior immortalized in clay, but historians believe over 8,000 exist. I watched a documentary that was very educational until they said they'd wake up and take over the planet for their alien overlords. The black reads Apofalo Belvedere, circa 130. I'm sorry that I'm butchering all of this. The statue depicts him as a horse, a classic example of trying to erase his true oxen heritage. But of course. Did I see this? The black reads Rug of Crystal Trading Post, circa 1900. Entirely handmade and still so intricate. A real artistic marvel. I just didn't read these. I feel sad I have nothing to say to the, him. The black reads Ceremonial Mass, circa 1880. While it's nice to see the representation, it does beg the question of why all these cultural monuments are stuck in the Philadelphia Museum. That was like I was saying, it's like, Alright, hold on. I want to see the stuff. Black reads Petals of Metal, circa 1900. An old friend from New Pork City has something like this hanging in his flat. It looked a bit tacky there, too. Oh, now I can actually see the TV screen. plaque reads, Vertical Constellation with Blob. By Alexander Calamander. Oh, I see. It's a whale. Or is it a lion? Maybe, actually, I don't see anything. Alright, my dude. It says, okay, alright. Additional details. Is this a test? I've never been good at tests, detective. About admission. What about it? There's no fee or anything, right? No. In this case, someone had come in before you and paid in advance, actually. Call it luck, right? That kind of thing never happens to me. So you weren't aware of who paid it? Nope. I didn't think anything of it. Just went on my way waiting for that date, like I said before. Well, it turns out the generous patron was caught in this chaotic situation. Unfortunately, it cost them their life. What? Detective. I lied. Okay, I lied to you. I didn't come here for a date, and I do know who paid my admission. The punk. He was my friend. My best friend. So please, could you tell me what happened? He and another visitor got into an argument. Ultimately, he fell from the balcony in the natural history exhibit. It seems to have been fatal. Oh. Okay. Detective, you can ask a couple more questions if you really need to, but after that, I'd like a few minutes to myself. It goes without saying, perhaps I'm sorry for your loss. Okay, detective, if you say so. Well, I don't have any other questions right now, but, well, it sucks for you. That was mean. I'm sorry. Have you put it all together? Yeah, okay. Additional details about the back room. I've discussed it with the guard and believe it could be incredibly important to solving this case. Would you be able to take me there? It's staff only, though. Do you already have the curator's permission? For the purposes of our conversation now, let's assume yes, I do. Well, come to think of it, it wouldn't matter either way. And why's that? I, embarrassingly, misplaced my keys a week ago. So, I can't actually get into the maintenance room. The curator said they were going to have a replacement made for me soon, but in the meantime, the guard lends me his as needed. Sorry, detective, not much help on this front. Maybe you could borrow the guard's keys, too? That may not be as easy as you think. Why don't we discuss something else? That's not good. Okay, I don't really need that. Anybody lying? Alright, no lies so far. Let's go upstairs. You don't have anything to say. But you sure do. About today's events. About the fight. There were witnesses that saw it go down a bit differently than you described. Would you like to revise your statement? I don't know what you're talking about. I've got nothing to hide and no more reason to lie to the most pathetic authority here. Pathetic, eh? At least I would admit to having taken a hit, especially in a fight where I was the only person to walk away. If you're trying to say something out with it. You falsified your testimony. Punk didn't slam you into the wall. You shoved him in an attempt to disarm and disorient him. And in that moment, the only thing you did was widen the gap, and he was able to get a stronger grip on his gun. Fine. Yes, I got too aggressive, but I didn't back down. I kept up the pursuit, because if I didn't, he would have shot me. You know what? You know that's the truth, detective. So don't fault a washed-out pup for defending himself, even if he does have a tendency to embellish. Justice has no need for embellishment. I've made note of this, and there's other details I'd like to go over with you. What else? About the weapon. You described in your testimony that you disarmed him after he fired it, so why did I find it in one of the courtyard fountains? Perhaps you had a reason to dispose of the evidence? You want me to come clean, detective? I'll come clean. I told you he didn't know what he was doing, and neither did I. We were fighting over it, and it was fired accidentally. The sound, the kickback, the surprise of it all, it disoriented us both. He hobbled off backwards like I told you, but I was a bit winded as well. That's when the critic found me. I was in a rougher shape than I let on before, detective, but everything else is true. For what it's worth, I'm glad you could walk away, for that you're safe. However, if you ever provide a witness testimony again, please consider presenting only the truth. Luckily for you, it's time for me to focus on my notes. Although, I should check there's nothing else to address before I go. Still don't have everything. Perhaps... In its current form, however, the film isn't much help, Perhaps someone at the department. Oh! The telephone outside! About the guide. Were you aware that the discussion you shared earlier was taken quite differently by her? Whatever could you mean, detective? It was simply a forum for two intellectuals. Perhaps one person's forum is another's arena, especially when such a debate is uninvited. Have you considered that? I can assure you that it was not my intention to debate her. Surely she's been through more treacherous challenges than I could provide. I'm not in a position to make claims one way or another, but I found the disparity in your testimonies important enough to clarify. And worth noting, if your honest response to criticism is defensive, then I suggest you reflect on why that is. How astute and utterly absurd a sentiment. That's my job. Now, I have more inquiries to make before I continue my investigation. Alright, what do you got? About the article. Ah, yes. Did you want to read it? I have an early draft if you'd like. That's interesting, considering the curator was entirely unaware of that request you mentioned. They must be playing coy with you. Or maybe they're just embarrassed that they need my help to keep their museum afloat. But I guess you wouldn't understand, standing on the outside, desperately trying to look in. You're trying to change the topic. Did the curator ask you to write that article or not? No, they didn't. They didn't have to. I received an anonymous tip, and I decided to be generous. Ugh, fine. It's my turn to change the topic, then. Interesting. Outside? What does that help? I desperately want to finish this. My voice is shot, guys. Salutations, detective. Have you solved the case? Not quite, but I have some questions that may help. About the back room. I understand this is a stretch, but you wouldn't have any idea where it is, would you? You mean the maintenance room for the museum? I can't say that I do. However, I may have something that could help you find it. Really? I was mostly just preparing to vent about this investigative roadblock. What do you have? I told you earlier about how the guard bumped into me. It appears he dropped his keys in the process. Oh, you can have them if you think they would assist you. Oh, wow! Unfortunately, I can't use a key on a door I can't find, but I'm sure these will come in handy when I do. You're welcome, detective. Feel free to return them once this is wrapped up. Of course, I have no need for them. Yes, thank you. Will do. Allow me to ask a few more. Nope, I don't need to ask you nothing. But that was a very good winky dinky. In my pursuit to gain access to the museum's maintenance room, I acquired these keys from the artist, but it's impossible to tell which of them is actually going to be necessary. The artist said that the guard had dropped them during the chaos of the incident earlier, but it does make me wonder why he would have needed this many strange keys. The best I can do with these right now is try to get a closer look and see what I can find. On the key? Oh god. But it has to be exact. Hold on. There's something written on that one. Nope. Oh my gosh. What do you, oh no. It has to be the exact angle or the game won't read. Okay. We did that angle. Let's do this. I'm literally gonna have to do this one. Oh, there. Oh, of course. I knew there was something else here. The symbol. It looks like a figure with outstretched arms. Have I seen that somewhere around here before? If I can find it again, that's probably where this key is meant to be used. You know, this is already an absolute mess, but the lack of labeling makes it even worse. A figure with outstretched arms? I can't say that that actually brings something to mind. But I will go outside and try to have this picture developed. Wait, it's not this, right? Because... okay, no. Guess I could give the police department a call. There's probably someone on their last shift about now. I can't forget to expense this charge, though. Payphones aren't exactly getting any cheaper these days. Detective! Oh, the case is coming along smoothly. What can I do for you? About the film. I found a reel of camera film that might be important to the case. There's equipment at the station to develop it. Can you send someone to pick this up for me? Oh, absolutely, detective. In fact, I'll just come do it myself. Okay. Sorry about the wait, detective. I came as fast as I could. I think you arrived in record time, so no need to apologize at all. Here's the film. Do you know how long it will take to develop? Not sure. Somebody in the lab will take care of it and let you know how they are. Honk! Don't worry. After a while, we should have a photograph. I need that word. I won't really have any way to let you know when it's done, but you can always call. Ain't no issue there. Well, I've got no shortage of threads to pull on, so I'll put this to the bottom of the list for now. Thanks again. Nothing's necessary. Just part of the job. Good luck. Oh, I won't need luck. Let's get back to it. Oh, alright, so we have all of the words needed for this. So it took a photograph. I know that one. When it when it hit the floor? When it took a photograph. Also, why isn't this turning green? Unless it's this. The blank. Okay, so hold on. I think that's actually one paragraph. So I think it's the podcaster. No, the blank the blank from the blank and into a blank. Okay, I think this is as they fought. As they fought. The old timer pushed the punk into a wall. So I'll get the punk as well. Faster way to do this. The old timer pushed. Actually, shoved. He shoved the punk into a wall. Objects. Places? Yeah, wall. Seriously, can't do this any faster. Causing, isn't it the picture to be... Causing the blank to be blank. Is it the gun? Yes. So causing the gun to be dropped. I think that's it. Come on. Dang it! As they fought, the old timer shoved the punk into the wall, causing the gun to be dropped. Is it not dropped? Causing the blank to be blanked. Because the old timer shoved the punk into the wall. It's not, seriously. Because at first I thought it was caused the picture to be, because it tilted the picture. Because I see the picture there. When it... Or... Wait, didn't the gun go off? No. When it blank... It... Causing the gun to be... It's not dropped. As they... Wait. Yeah, no, it would be fought. As they... It's not argued, because they fought. Old timer shoved the punk into a wall. Or was it wall? He shoved him into... I swear that he hit the wall. When it blank... And it's talking about the gun. So it's causing the gun to be... it's not dropped. The gun to be got dropped. That makes so much. That makes sense. Fudge. Unless it's not talking about. So the gun went off. And it shot the statue. That seems really stupid, but... Are you... When it... blank, it... Oh, it fell. So the statue fell when it... I think... So the it is the statue, not the gun. So when it fell, it struck, just, it destroyed? Can you only use each word once? No, because you can use the people. It destroyed the glass case, right? Keep hitting the wrong. So it destroyed the glass case below, and then blank the blank. What did it do? It tripped the alarm? Because isn't that what the statue did? Yeah, tripped the alarm. Okay, that one's not so bad. Yeah, boy. The picture's literally there of the gun shooting the statue. Shortly after, the blank the blank from the blank and into a blank. I don't know what that was. The blank, then blank. I'm pretty sure this one. The tourist looked on as the podcaster accidentally dropped his camera, which took a photograph when it dropped to the floor. The blank, then blank is... Okay, I think this one is about the film. The podcaster. Then stole... That's a word, right? Stole its film. So that one's talking about the same thing. Do we have film? Stole its film. There we go. Okay. Please. Please. The tourist looked on as the podcaster accidentally dropped his camera, which took a photograph when it dropped... Oh, when it hit the floor. Not dropped to the floor. Dropped to the floor, but it struck... I'm sorry. Struck the floor. There's a problem. Now, this didn't make sense to me at all, but look at the picture. So, by this time, the blank. So, I'm still working through this, but this would be about the student, because the student is the mouse, right? So, the student had blank into the blank. So, what did he do? He retreated. He got dropped. So, I think retreated, because he ran away. He ran away into... Where did he run? Where did we find him? He's in the... exhibit. It's not the foyer, is it? Oh, wait, no, he ran to the door. Oh, that's the locked door. So, yeah, no, he did run into the door. But the door's locked. But the blank was already blank. But the... Is it the door was already locked? The door was already locked. So, he hid in the something exhibit. Where did he run? Where's exhibit? Where is he? He's in, here's exhibit. He's not antiquities, he's in, not, sculpture? Sculpture exhibit? Hey! Okay. Soon after, the blank the blank from the blank and into a blank and into a... What do you mean into a? Into a what? Into a... So I'm trying to work backwards because I have no idea what that one's talking about. So, into a painting, into a plant, into a artifact, sculpture, into a... into a backpack. Well, there's nothing with a backpack yet. Into a fountain? Is it talking about the gun? The blank. All right, hold on. Into the fountain? Into a fountain. So the blank dropped the gun. Who dropped the gun? We don't know who dropped the gun. The blank dropped the gun from the balcony and into a fountain, right? So do I have dropped? Yeah, it is dropped. Who dropped the gun? From the balcony. And into a fountain. Okay, well, not the podcaster. The old timer didn't have it, so the punk had it. So the punk is the one. I thought it was placed in the fountain. So it really was a complete coincidence that it ended up in the fountain. Huh. I knew it was onto something. This case is continuing to clear up, but it feels like there's always another thread to pull. And there's no use calling it a wrap before I know for certain what's happened. Okay, so what would you like? At this point, I'll just have to wait for results. Thankfully, I have plenty of other leads to follow. Do I? A blank blank the blank. A blank a blank, not the. So a secretary, a manager, an officer. No, it would be an officer. A daughter. A blank, the blank blank, to the blank on the blank blank. It was blank by the blank from the blank. There was an old blank, a strange blank, and the blank. Accessible from the blank on the blank. In the blank was the renowned blank, the grumpy blank, and the shady blank. What? It seems the blank between the blank and the blank put the blank into the blank, but nothing was blank. Conversely, the blank will be blank, but the blank to learn more. What? What? Okay, so it turns out Google lied to me, and I'm actually a little bit sad because if I had known how long this was, each thing would be its own video. Instead, now I have a nearly 4-hour video. But okay, I'm not even halfway done. This is a lot longer than I thought it was, which is perfectly fine by me. I take back what I said initially. I mean, it is obviously extremely similar to the Duck Detective series. Extremely similar. But it does things in its own unique way, and that kind of sets it apart as well. And that is a good thing. I really, really, really enjoyed this. I desperately want to keep playing, and I don't care. I'll make a 6-hour video. What the heck? But my throat is killing me right now doing all these voices. So it's probably going to be 2 gigantic videos, and I'll finish this up tomorrow because I have the day off tomorrow. If I haven't ruined my voice today. But hey, listen, YouTuber problems. But if you enjoyed this as much as I'm absolutely loving this, I still don't really know. I still don't entirely know what's going on. So the old man and the punk fought, and which caused the gun to drop into a fountain. By luck, I suppose. And then the punk went off to the balcony, to which someone else came and shoved him off? Is what it sounds like? And then either he shot the statue by accident, which fell into the diamond case. So either the diamond was already missing, and if that's the case, only people who work for the museum, the curator, the guard, or the guide would have stolen it beforehand, because I don't think anyone else would have had access. They said that other people could have access to it, but I don't think anyone had access, because they were like, oh, people who preserve it, or researchers or anything like that. I don't think anyone would have had access to it. So either one of those guys did it, or once it was smashed, you have an opportunist, which I think would have had to have been the podcaster. I don't know. But I'm very curious. Very curious about where this all ends up. You made it this far. Good job at hanging in there. If you enjoyed that as much as I did, hit the like button. We all like buttons. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out so much, just like the podcaster says. Yes, please like and subscribe. And there's also a Patreon. It's in the link below. You can help support the channel so we can continue to get awesome, amazing games like this. Funny thing, I know I said this in the very beginning part, which was actually a different day for me. I didn't know. I knew that there was a bunch of crossovers with this game and Dev Cats, which does the Full of Cats series. There's a Full of Cats apartment room, which I'm intending to play very soon at some point in time, and they did a crossover, and I was like, wow, that's so cool. Indie games helping each other. Full of Cats, Dev Cats, produce this. Like, they're not the developers, but they're the producers, the publishers. And I'm like, what the? Well, duh, of course they did things then, which is really cool. We need more cat-themed things. Yay! Go Dev Cat. Anyways, fun factoid for you. But I'm going to drink a lot more tea, rest my voice, and come back hopefully tomorrow and finish this up. I cannot wait to see you guys in the next episode. I'll see you there. Bye! And a massive thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Seriously, you are amazing. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. You guys are keeping this all going. You're the best.